Alright guys, you're almost ready to go with our second semi-final. David, coming to you first. I think it's fair to say your game with Steve last night was probably the slowest of the four matches. We've now got the 40-second shot clock up and running. Is that going to change your approach or your game in any way?
Not really. It actually suits me better. That game last night was just boring, really. Steve struggled. And the order he got, but I had to slow down last night because he's very methodical, he's a great player, doesn't miss much, had a crowd behind him, and I just have to keep focused. But I prefer the shot clock because I'm used to playing it, I've been playing with the shot clock for 30 years, so I'm really looking forward to this, to be honest.
You did seem to struggle a little bit with your break yesterday. Going to be changing placing the cue ball or technique, or was it just a little bit of bad luck last night?
I think everybody will tell you the luck's a massive part. I just keep doing the same thing. I'm playing race off 15, so if I drive great first 8, he might drive great. It's just you're playing a good play. You've got to take your chances. I've watched both games back, mine and the opponents, and it's a great win for any team. So we'll see what happens. I'm just going to take advantage, play the table. I'm the underdog in this. Simon's had a great last 3-4 years, and he's definitely took advantage of New Zealand's number one at these rules. So I'm going in there with the relaxed attitude and just see what happens and try and get a game.
Excellent. And Simon, coming to you, with no disrespect to Brent Wells, your opponent yesterday, but he probably didn't quite have the technical understanding of Blackball rules that Baden will have. Does that make any difference to your approach, or do you just play the table, play your own game?
Yeah, not really. I don't really think there's much tactics to these rules. It's quite an aggressive set, and I played the table yesterday, I played the table today. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, the right shot's always the right shot.
And we talked about yesterday, you raced into that 10-1 lead, and then the concentration levels just dropped a little bit. Are you going to try and just keep those up throughout the duration of this match? Obviously it's a longer race.
Yeah, for sure. Energy levels dropped a little and lost focus. Sort of finished line a bit too soon. There's a few other players this weekend that have done that. We just saw in the last match. There's probably thought the game wrapped up, and then the other player gets momentum and it gets exciting. So we'll see what happens. You can't afford to do it. Simple as that.
And you two are obviously very good friends, pairs, partners. Does that add an extra bit of spice to the match?
Not really. No, I just play my game. It doesn't matter who I play, so I'll smash anyone.
Brilliant. All right, best of luck, guys. We'll let the players out for the break, and I'll pass it back to John Saundcock and the commentary box. Thank you.
Reasonably close. This one's better.
So in here.
Yeah, I would. Righty-ho, second final underway. Simon winning the leg will break first, and already making the best start that he could by potting a ball off the break. Now, I have an absolute legend of New Zealand cricket sitting next to me. We're very privileged to have him with us. Played in, I believe, 250 one-day international matches and took, I think it was 203 wickets. And I cannot remember how many runs he scored. I'm sure he'll tell me if he's a stats man himself. Also played a handful of tests for our nation. The one and only Chris Harris. Welcome to the commentary booth.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a privilege to be here. Looking exciting times for the semi-final.
Yeah,
Two class players.
Yeah, it's a shame you weren't here before because you saw an absolute rollicking first semi-final where one of the players, Adam Lilly, was 14-4 down in a race to 15 and came back all the way to 14-13 before. Without being biased in any way, that this game can go just the same way because it is a great spectacle for the sport here.
Well, two class players, and hence the reason they've got to the semi-final stage.
As you watch, and I suppose a bit like cricket, you work out how players tick by just watching them, whether you're watching them on TV or in the field or whatever you're doing. And so much of pool is a mental game, but cricket, despite being played on a vastly different surface, there's the top 2 inches, there's got to be much the same in terms of the thought processes. Could you just take me broadly through that?
Well, it's funny that you say it's played on a different surface, but some of the surfaces you play on are very similar to some of the wickets that the guys are playing on these days. They seem pretty flat. But you're absolutely right. It's an absolute momentum game. It's about getting confidence early, which Simon has done here. He's played pretty well. I mean, the thing that I love about this game is, as an amateur and someone that thinks they can play a little bit of pool, you know, I'm obviously looking to play a pot and trying to get the white ball somewhere where I can sink another ball, but the quality of control these guys have over the white is just, you know, is the difference between, I guess, the amateur and the professional game. And this has been a great frame so far from Simon. But yeah, he'll gain so much confidence from this, and as you said, it's so much momentum. You get underway early, and it can be quite tough for the other guy to get to the table and, you know, to try and create some momentum himself.
Something we saw with all 4 of the quarterfinals yesterday is that one player raced out to a lead and then the other player had to come back of some sorts just to stay in the match. But what we saw with all of the games, and today's game, dare I say it, is that the player who got to that lead managed to win and close out the match. Somebody told me that you played in an exhibition tournament with one of our top 9 and 10 ball players, Matt Edwards, versus one of the absolute legends of pool, Torsten Holman. What was that like?
Oh, he is an absolute legend of the game. That was an absolute privilege again and an honour to be involved in that exhibition match. And once again, it was a great indication of the difference between the average players like myself and the top players. You know, they just don't make the mistakes that we do. And as I said, the quality and the control of the white ball. I mean, for me, pool, snooker, 9 ball, it's all about controlling the white ball. And both of them were just so good at that.
Yeah, I mean, they put so much hours of practice into their craft, and it's just amazing what they can do on a pool table. And I mean, Torsten Holman's got quite a rigorous exercise regime as well, so he keeps himself mentally fit, but he keeps himself physically fit, and those two do work in sync quite a lot. Did you ever find that with yourself with cricket? And even now you're not playing for the Black Caps, but you still do play a bit of club cricket. How's that fitness work for you?
Oh, yeah,
the mental side?
You're absolutely right. I think the better the space you are in your normal life, the better that your sport tends to go. And I think, as you said, with that routine, you know, which is a little bit unusual for this sport. Great first frame for Braden. Obviously got an opportunity and won it. Is you know, you really got to look after yourself. It's all about good diet, good sleeping, and generally when you do things well off the field, you generally get reward on the field. I mean, you were talking about that earlier semi-final. Adam's a player that I've watched a little bit. taken a little bit of an interest in his career now. I mean, he's a hell of a player, and that was a great indication, that first semi-final of that comeback down, I think you said 14-5 or 14-4.
14-4 to come back from that when you're one frame away from elimination. It's amazing, and amazing to be able to get yourself in that headspace that Adam got himself into, to be able to start running racks and giving himself more and more of a chance of the upset.
Well, plays multiple formats too. I mean, he's a very, very good snooker player, but that was that, going back to that point you made earlier about the momentum, and that's how quickly the momentum can change in the sport.
Well, Adams represented New Zealand at snooker at an under-21 level, snooker at the senior level, shall we call it. I'm not exactly sure how you define a person who's, say, less than 50 but not a junior, so I'm just going to roll with that. He's also represented New Zealand at 9-ball. He took a trip to Vegas last year, played 9-ball competition. So multiple cue sports, multiple tables, multiple rule sets and disciplines, but again, the mental ability to be able to switch between those effortlessly and still play the best way that you can is quite outstanding with him. And also, I mean, Baden Jackson's come over here from the UK, as has Simon Singleton, and they've got the familiarity with these rules, which many Kiwi players do not have. But at the same time, they're able to teach us so much, and we're grateful to have them here, despite what some people will say, oh, the Poms, they win everything with pole because they come over here, they've learned all the rules and so on. Well, it's a positive. You've got to take it as a positive, and again, if you want to be the best, you've just got to be the best, and that's surely what you found too, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's an absolute must. I mean, I think the Kiwi players playing in this want to play against the best players in the world, and I think it's amazing that a couple of English guys have come over. One, that gets the local players the opportunity to test their skills against, a couple of the great players in the world, and I think the more international flavour we can get in, the better, and I think it's great for the sport. You'll obviously be a fay with the questions. Interesting tactic there. I just noticed off the break with Baden, he sunk the yellow first and then the red went in second. Does he have the choice, or does he have to take yellow because the yellow went down first off the break?
He doesn't have to take the first ball that drops. He's got an open table, the first shot after the break. So, and he can also first shot off the break, because there's no set established, he can play one colour onto the other. The colour he pots, if he does that, is the colour that he's then on and playing for the rest of the frame.
I tell you what, I love how this frame is shaping up, just because now there's a defensive element to it, and I'd imagine generally in this form of the game, it's quite an aggressive game, but I love watching the defensive, they're playing defensive, not trying to leave on any shots or any options, and for me it's a great stage because it's the first one to break or the first one to make a mistake, and that generally ends up costing the frame.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cutthroat. Also, I must ask you before I ask the chat, would you be up for people asking you just general questions in the chat? The chat right in front of you here.
Absolutely.
If people want to ask you questions, can they do so, and you can answer to the best of your ability?
Yeah, people can ask me whatever questions they want. Hopefully it'll be a little bit about pool, or it might be about cricket, or dare I say it might even be a little bit about dancing. But yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, that too. I did watch you on that show and thought you were absolutely amazing, and I actually thought your second dance to Lightning Crashes by Live, that partner dance where you were dancing with Vanessa's brother, I believe it was.
Good knowledge.
I love the song, but the way you guys looked the part, you dressed the part, but you got on it and you danced the part. That's the best performance I've ever seen in any Dancing with the Stars in New Zealand, for memory.
Well, that's very kind. I'll tell you, the thing I loved about the dance, I mean, first off, I've got to say Vanessa Cole, absolutely the best partner to have. I mean, she's just a phenomenal dancer herself and teacher. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but for me, I love those sort of challenges where you're out of your comfort zone. I was sort of working full-time with MediaWorks at the time, and then we were dancing 6 hours every night, and we did that for about 14 weeks. So I added up, we did about 500 hours training, but that Pastor Double was pretty special times.
just quickly to the game, Baden there flicking the edge of his yellow into the red, into the yellow to pop the yellow over the pocket. So he's now opened everything up for himself. So you'd imagine, unless he makes a silly positional error here, that he should finish this frame off. Now, just moving quickly back to Paul, do you play a lot socially, or do you just fancy yourself to have a hit at home, or what?
I think I'm like most people. I haven't got a pool table at home, but I'd love one. I think that's something that may happen in the future. But no, I'm like everyone. You get down to the pub and you play with your mates, and you all think you're better than each other, and it's not quite to this standard. But generally, what happens, the more you drink, the better you get.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? The inhibition goes. There's one for you, Chris. Do you reckon you're a better fielder than John T. Rhodes? As Baden there misses that shot and Simon's got an opportunity back into the frame.
Great question. I think John T was one of the all-time best fielders. I think the fact that I'm mentioned in the same breath with him, I take as a feather in my cap. I mean, he was phenomenal at backward point. He made that his own, and some of the run-outs that he got, one that sticks to mind was the one against Inzamam Al-Haq, where he died
1992 World Cup, where he made a mess of the stumps.
Yeah, demolished the stumps, and Inzamam was out by about a metre. So, just those quick decisions. I mean, he was a phenomenal fielder, so I definitely think John T was better than me. But as I said, nice to be mentioned in the same breath.
Yeah, I mean, we've grown up watching you play, and the fact that I believe you still hold or equal a record for the number of caught and bowls in international cricket, and just obviously the way you bowl, being quite slow through the air, and Simon's just touched the red there with his cue and indicating that to Baden. So there's that sportsmanship. You don't need a referee to call it. But hang on, I've just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Can you put me back on? Oh, it's caught and bowled. That right?
That's right.
Bowling reasonably slow through the air, but managing to get the ball to do a fair bit in the air and then off the pitch to have batsmen sort of prodding at it. Is that a mode of dismissal that you were necessarily playing for, or?
Good question. No, I started my career, believe it or not, as attempting to be a fast bowler, and I was never that quick. I was always a bit medium pace. And then I came up with this theory that if I bowled slow enough, hopefully the batsmen's played themselves out of form by the time the ball arrives, and they might just send it back to me. And that worked quite well for me.
Well, they play about 5 shots before mistiming it back to you.
Well, it's a good point. They've got so many options that they take 6 or 7, and then by the time it gets them, they sort of confuse themselves, and hopefully they just send it back.
Yeah, they mug themselves and straight back to Harry caught and bowled.
A couple of mistakes in this frame though, isn't there? It's looking like Baden's going to go 2 up.
Yeah, that wasn't the best shot that Baden played before. That was a really good one though, but as you often see, when you're out of position, it kind of snowballs. So he's out of position on the black. It will still go past the red, but it's a much harder shot than he would have liked.
And as amateurs, this is what we face all the time, because these guys are so good at getting position on the white, making the next shot easier for themselves. And as an amateur player myself, we tend to just try and make the pot and then worry about the next shot. And quite often, I'm faced with shots like this all the time.
Oh, would you back yourself to pot this? Go on.
I would certainly have a crack.
Yeah.
There's no point being defensive now. It's all about attack.
Full hundy.
Yeah. The good news is, even if he gets it wrong, I'm sure he's going to draw it in the pocket.
No, he got it so wrong.
He was a long way off there.
Oh, and he's gone and off, has he, to go? Yep. That is not lost a frame in these rules, by the way. If he'd potted the black and gone and off, then it would be, but...
Well, you say it's not lost a frame, but I think he pretty much has. I think...
Yeah. But it's not immediate loss of frame.
No, Simon will run away with this now.
Use the first shot. He doesn't need to pot this, by the way. It was a free shot. So the way he played that slowly is in case it doesn't go and it sits over the bin.
See, just there, classic example. I mean, a pretty easy shot for the pros, but just the backspin, off the colour, off the cush, nice easy red into the middle, and it'll be beautifully set up for the black to finish, to go 1-all.
Yeah, and you see how he didn't just roll that in slowly, he punched it in with authority. That's another difference you see between amateurs and pros, as Simon squares us up at 1. Now, I've got a cheat sheet in front of me, I'm not going to lie. With more and more New Zealand pool players travelling overseas, and hopefully we'll see that with one of these players definitely, because the prize for winning this is a spot in the New Zealand team for the Blackball World Competition in Geelong in November this year. But they're travelling distances to play in events, long distances to play in events. You obviously had to do that with cricket. You were constantly somewhere else in the world. How did you deal with that, and what did you think of it, like, especially times when it got hard?
Felt like multiple questions. I'm going to get far away with the first one. So
Yeah,
there's a spot for someone in the New Zealand team out of this tournament.
Yes, the winner of this particular tournament, not this game, the winner of this game goes through to the final. But
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What happens if one of these guys win? Because they're obviously English.
they're both, I believe they've both got residency here.
Oh, we like them even more now. They can
Yeah.
play for us. Brilliant.
But they're both New Zealanders now. But yeah, the winner gets a spot in the World Champ, New Zealand team for the World Champs in Oz later this year. But yeah, how did you manage time away from home, pretty much, when you were travelling for cricket?
Good question. Well, to be fair, I was doing something I absolutely loved. It was my passion, cricket, and I was very fortunate that it was a sport where I could actually make a living out of it. So it effectively became, even though it was my passion, it became my job as well. And so my family was aware of that. We not made a rule, but we tried to, if I was away for any long length of time or away in those special times like over Christmas, try and get the family together at some stage. But it is challenging. I mean, I'm away doing something I absolutely love, and I would have done it anywhere in the world, and was lucky enough to. Very tough on, your support team, your family back home, but you've just got to try and include them as much as you can. Have a supportive partner. Really tough on the kids, because they obviously, well, you'd like to think they miss you. So it is challenging, but I was very lucky that I was able to do something that I absolutely loved all around the world, and I wouldn't change a thing. All I'd try and do is make it possible that I could have played for longer. But age catches up with all of us, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a bit younger, so not quite yet for me.
Are you that much younger?
Singleton, 2 frames to 1 now ahead.
This is how the most frames have started?
Well, we'd have to get a few more frames in to see what the general gist of this would be, because if Simon wins a few more, then yes, it will have gone to play in pretty much every single game, having one player running away with it to start with. But we're just mentioning age very briefly. It's still amazing to me that you're playing cricket at a competitive level at the age of 50. That's absolutely brilliant to still be able to play for Sydney at 50.
That's been tough. I haven't played too many of the 2-day games, but I played sort of the one-day cricket and the T20 at the start as a 50-year-old, and found that challenging.
Fastest bowler you've ever faced, Chris?
It's a good question. I've faced quite a few fast bowlers. Anyone that I deem that if they hit me, I could be seriously injured. So that just to reel off a few, Waka Yunus in his prime, Wasim Akram, Shoaib Akhtar, Brett Lee and Alan Donald. Managed to face Malcolm Marshall at the end of his career, but all of those guys, phenomenal fast bowlers, up near that 100 miles an hour. Scary, scary stuff. Terry Stewart's got a bit of time on his hands, hasn't he? He's asked me a few questions.
Well, the thing is, though, obviously you're such a legend in New Zealand cricket, and people know you from that. Now, I'll just give you a little heads up. Chloe Jackson, that is in fact Tara Jackson, that is Baden Jackson's wife.
Lovely to see her watching and supporting.
Yeah, it's great. See, that's the thing about streaming, is that your loved one can actually jump on to watch this match without actually having to be in the venue if they can't for whatever reason. It's the way of the future for this sport.
Definitely, and then it gets big enough, and then hopefully we can go mainstream. Well,
Yeah,
Chloe,
exactly.
Let's hope that Baden gets it back to 2-all.
Maybe then MediaWorks can pick it up.
Well, there's a
And
few
I can start
opportunities
doing
now.
it then I can start, we can start doing this for a career at MediaWorks.
I'm into that, John. Well, obviously now that Radio Sport's sort of lost the cricket, that's just so it looks as though New Zealand Cricket could be doing like podcasts or live streaming, something similar.
Yeah, that was gutting, to be honest.
Summer will never be the same, will it? Those days
no,
on the beach, listening to the cricket in the background. I know. I just don't know how we're going to cope as Kiwis. I mean, it's what we've all grown up with. So it's going to be a really interesting transition just to see what the replacement is going to be, because I think a lot of people are hanging out to think, well, what are they going to do?
Well, change is inevitable, and you just to not fight it, you just need to go with it. Now, if you are at the wrong end of something that has changed, then obviously you will have the little bit of time to feel down about it, but then you've just got to get back up and look, other opportunities are going to be there if I work for them. Obviously having to work for, say, your spot in the team and keeping your spot in the team, that's kind of similar because you would have faced those setbacks yourself as a cricketer. I was just thinking Brett Lee, one thing I absolutely loved watching, just from a personal point of view, was brilliant bowler and good sportsman, but when he pulled it, Piers Morgan in the nets, I absolutely loved that because I do not like Piers Morgan at all, and he gave him absolutely everything. And Piers, to be fair, actually stood up and made a good account of himself. But
well, you say that. I thought from a cricketing point of view, did tend to back away a bit. Actually, know Piers Morgan, met him quite a few times, have actually played cricket with him. He's not a great cricketer, as we all saw on that day, but I know, even myself, I felt for him on that day because that was terrifying. Because what he was doing was backing away, and then typical nasty fast bowler, Brett Lee started following him.
With short stuff, at full pace, go have some of that. But I actually, if I could say it, I had a little bit more respect for Piers after that. I don't like him as a journalist, I don't like him as a pundit, just because I don't like his views, but that's personal.
I think it was his background was from, was it The Sun, and obviously that's quite a controversial, was it The Sun?
The Sun, yeah.
Quite a controversial newspaper, and he, I think he lost his role over doing something that he was believed to be the truth, but was led astray. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good at...
The tabloids in England just take it to a new level.
Yeah, well, the media does tend to do that anyway, so...
Even more so in the UK.
Read, not always, and as a cricketer you would have been reading some stuff that you wouldn't have been happy with and thinking, oh, they've overboard with this.
I was a fair weather player, so I only generally like reading the tabloids or the media when I was going well.
Yeah, but they absolutely rip into you when you're not, that's the thing.
Yeah, or the worst thing is people tell you, even if I don't read it, people go, oh, did you see what they said? One of the most, I'll never forget this, I actually think, who now works for New Zealand Cricket.
Stevie D, that's Steve Denton, he played Baden yesterday and Baden beat him. Daily Mirror, all the same role. He's actually from the UK himself, and I would have to agree with that. But I know I'm sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but they've all sort of got an agenda for me.
Yeah.
I'm not big into mainstream media. But
I did enjoy reading the tabloids. I spent a lot of time in the UK and quite enjoyed reading their newspaper. I took most of it with a grain of salt, but it was quite good light entertainment, and that's all I took it as.
Laugh, eh?
Like the Inquirer and those types of mags, they were quite fun to read.
Oh, that nearly ran too far. I think Baden's just counting himself lucky that he didn't get stuck behind the yellow there. I thought maybe at one point he'd been stuck behind the black, but the yellow proved to be the ball that nearly reached out and grabbed him.
So what I'd do here, if it was me, I'd try and cut it into the middle, run the white ball down the end, leave the black on for the middle.
Like this.
That's exactly what he's done.
Oh, brilliant. You should be playing on this.
Yeah, he hasn't, again though, he's a little bit short. He would have liked to run on a little bit further, but he's not going to miss this, and Chloe will be delighted because it's about to go to 2-all.
Watch out for the white ball though. Watch out for the white ball.
Right.
No, he's hit the yellow, he's good. 2 frames apiece. Simon and Baden all squared up. Oh yeah, sorry, that's because I leaned away, Terry. Tony asks, Chris, did you ever take a hat-trick in a match?
Who's that come from? Tony? I actually did, Tony. In South Africa, of all places, in Orange Free State against was it not Natal, because that's Durban. It was in Bloemfontein. And it was a bizarre score because I think the Bloemfontein side, or Orange Free State, were 354 for 3. And I got a hat-trick, and it was a bizarre hat-trick because the first one was caught and bowled, quite a good catch. Next one was caught at short cover, and then the new batsman came in and I tried to bowl an in-swinging Yorker, went horribly wrong, way down the leg side. The guy tried to deflect it to fine leg, got a leading edge and just popped up to mid-wicket. So that was actually a hat-trick for New Zealand in a first-class game. And it is my only hat-trick at that level. I've got a couple of club hat-tricks, but that was the one that stands out the most because it's... A hat-trick is a hat-trick, but it's not quite how I envisaged getting that last wicket.
Yeah, you kind of feel a bit silly when you get it like that, but hey, you take all the plaudits.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because normally when I tell that story, I tell everyone that it was 3 bowled, but yeah, that wasn't. There was a lot of luck involved.
It sounds like the sound's gone. I don't know about you, but...
Well, that could be quite good for the listeners. If the sound's gone, it could be quite good for the listeners. They don't have to listen to you and I.
We're not that rubbish, surely. Well, I know you're not. But obviously pressure with this game is massive, as it was for cricket and even for dancing. Whatever you're doing, pressure's always going to be a big thing.
When you were under an awful lot of it, how did you handle it? How did you get yourself to a good level of mental stability?
It's really funny. It's a really good question and one that I get asked a lot. And it's pressure can be an absolutely awful thing. And generally, if we don't control it, we make poor decisions. And that's why it's called being under pressure. So for me, whenever I was under pressure, and that can come in so many different ways. It could be the pressure of the situation that you're in at the time. It could be that you're out of form. You're not potting the ball well. You're not scoring runs. You're not getting wickets. Generally, for me, when I'm really under pressure, I just simplify things as much as I can. Go very much back to the basics. That's it. That's that old saying that I grew up with, KISS, which is keep it simple, stupid. And I think when you're under pressure, and you go to things that you know work, that you've worked, you spend a lot of time on doing, and just keep it really simple.
Simon was absolutely filthy with himself there. He tried to take the red off the yellow in the top right pocket and didn't get the kiss he wanted on it and still left the yellow on.
That was what I think he's filthy about. I mean, he was looking for a wee deflection to run the red into the pocket, but the fact that he just hit it too hard and left the yellow on.
Well, he didn't hit enough of the yellow, is the thing. He needed to get a bigger piece of the yellow to get the deflection he needed.
Yeah.
Now, Tristan Matheson asks, Chris, for you, who's the best test spinner in the country? I'm saying right now, I reckon, is what he's asking.
In New Zealand? It's a good question. I would certainly say, might get a bit of grief for this, in white form cricket, so in one-day cricket, I still think it's Mitchell Santner. Obviously had issues in Australia in the longer format. So for me, the two probably Ijaz Patel and Ish Sodhi. I think are our two best attacking options and the two best spinners that are likely to get wickets. And hence the reason I think New Zealand picked him in this series against India. Ijaz Patel didn't get any opportunities. Only bowled 6 overs.
Yeah, well, it didn't really suit. The surface didn't suit him as much as the quicks, and especially in Christchurch when they played the second test against India, he was left out because it was a seaming surface. And see how well that worked for us. Brilliant, because we played 5 seamers, or rather 4 dedicated seamers and 1 all-rounder who bowled seam. That was Colin Grondholm, and managed to bowl India out cheaply twice.
Well, you got to take your hats off to to Gary Stead and Kane Williamson and the selectors, because I'm sure there was a lot of people frowning when they played 5 seamers at Christchurch, thinking you've got to play a spinner. But the seamers in that series, in both tests, were absolutely phenomenal. And another winter to Baden on fly. Chloe, we'll be getting another little text from you saying yes, babe.
Tara. And Chloe's his daughter, but Tara's on her account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to point that earlier.
You did say that.
Hard though. Stuart Singleton, I believe, is Simon's brother. And he also has got a question. Actually, Tony Van Wyck's one before that. Chris, what was your highest score in a 50 over match? I actually know the answer, but I'll just let you take it away.
Well, if it's for New Zealand, it was against Australia in the 1996 World Cup quarter-final, and I managed to somehow nick a few lucky ones for 130.
That's what I would have said.
Picking you up on Chris's, but not on yours for some reason.
Okay, just having a few sound issues here.
You're going to share one mic. Look at the information. Yeah.
Is my mic okay?
Your mic's fine.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, my mic's rubbish apparently, so I've had to squeeze in a bit closer to Chris, and so we're sharing one mic.
This would normally be uncomfortable, but because I've done some dancing, I can handle it.
Yeah, you get a bit close to someone and then you feel a connection, don't you? And then that music starts playing.
Yeah, I feel like we should be getting set up for a foxtrot or something.
Yeah. Or a paso doble.
Yeah, okay. I'll play the male, okay?
Or the what, sorry?
I'll be the male. So
Yeah,
I'll be the
probably.
lead.
Well, you would be. You're taller than me, and you've actually done it before.
So here's Simon's opportunity to get back into it. Just feel like Aiden's just taking a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, no, he needs it, even though it's really early in the game. It's 3-2 and it's a race to 15. You still want to get those little hits where you can. Next question, Chris. Who's the best pool player you watched or played? Now, I'm pretty sure we've already answered this, but again...
Well, you answer it for me, and then I'll tell you who it really is. You said
I'll
it
say
earlier.
Torsten Holman.
Yes, certainly. He's certainly the best I've ever seen.
No disrespect to Matt Edwards.
No, Matt was very, very good as well. But also, on top of that, was probably every player that's played me that's beaten me.
Anyone who's beaten you is the best player you've played.
Yeah. But we were talking about pressure before and making mistakes. That's the thing I love about this format. We've seen probably a couple of mistakes from both players, but because of the length and it's a race to 15, this is one of those games where you've got the opportunity to make mistakes, but you can make up for that. And we saw that in the earlier semi-final with Adam, where he played a few mistakes, but he's such a class act that he came back and almost snatched it basically when it was almost a foregone conclusion at 14-4 down. But these two players, class acts, they'll get it right and hopefully make less and less mistakes.
Brittany Kidd saying Chris Harris, the man, the myth, the legend. Well, I can tell you for one, he's not a myth because he's sat right next to me. But the rest of it is very much true. Simon there cleans the balls up to move into a tie again. It's 3 each here. Who won out of Des and Adam? Tony Rousel. Des won that match 15-13, but I tell you what, Des was 14-4 ahead at one point. Adam got it all the way to 14-13, and Des managed to pick off the last frame to win it.
I should be even here, shouldn't I? I mean, I've been singing the praises of Adam, but Des also brilliant to finish it off because all the momentum went with Adam. And then for Des to get an opportunity to finish it and do it.
Turn all of that around
Yep.
and still have the mental capacity and ability to finish that last frame off.
So you're absolutely right, Theo. We've got to give Des big credit because he was under severe pressure at the end there when it went to 14-13, and that was, that's that pressure we're talking about. And I'm sure he just cleared his mind, did what he needed to do, and got the result in the end.
Just a question for the viewers as well, or for chat. Can you hear us both just fine? We're both using one mic, so we're crowded around the one microphone. Can you hear us both okay? Because if not, we'll have to make some adjustments.
Are we asking the listeners?
Listeners, yeah.
Nice.
Well, not you, because you're not... Well, you're a listener, but you're not on the chat, so to speak.
Oh, well, I feel like I'm part of the chat.
Both good volume. Awesome. Do you play, Chris? Brittany Kidd asks. I think she's meaning Paul.
Yes, I do play. Love the game. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying to get better. I've played all formats. Played some pool, played a bit of snooker in the UK, which you have to if you're over there, and played a bit of 9-ball as well. I love it. Great social game.
Risk of infection, use protection. Let's not talk about that. I'm sick of hearing every single day about the C word, large C word.
Yeah, I don't want to get controversial, but I don't know. I guess when someone says that means they're going to. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's just it's another variation of the flu, and I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to underplay it, but I feel like if we're careful and do the right things, we'll all be okay.
I think you just do the basics right, just keep yourself healthy, and if you present with the symptoms, go and see a doctor. It's just basic stuff, really. The healthier you are, the better chance you are at not getting it, or if you do get it, then you have the best chance of fighting it off.
Great, well I'm just going to take a break and go for a run, so I feel a bit fitter. No, I'm not really.
You're already fit enough, aren't you?
I'm reasonably.
That dancing and whatever else you do.
Yep, so before those questions come in, I lost almost 10 kgs. So at the end of that season, I was below my playing weight when I was playing. So I went from effectively 90 kgs to 80 kgs.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing what dancing does too, because obviously it shores up your coordination and gets you better into social settings, because dancing obviously can be quite a social sort of thing, but also so good for your fitness and for weight control. I mean, you saw what happened to other dancers on the show. They just had weight melt away.
Yeah, no, they do. A lot of people, just about anyone that goes on the show loses a lot of weight. But here's a little bit of controversy as well. I reckon if I danced before my career, I reckon my fielding would have been even better, because some of the positions, the control of your balance, going in certain directions, and just learning about balance and getting somewhere quickly, would have made it. I think would have made me even better field, or quicker in the field. How's that?
That sounds pretty much right, I would say. Definitely makes a lot of sense.
Might have made me a better pool player as well. I haven't played so much pool since I stopped dancing, so perhaps got to get back in there.
It's that social thing again, isn't it? Pool's social, so is dancing. They're linked. Simon.
Just left it a little bit short, didn't he? He had the right line.
He overcut it.
Yeah. Something I used to do a lot. You think?
Oh, here we go. There he is. He's back with a vengeance. Stevie D asking, maybe Chris being 50 now, would you be interested in playing in the Masters?
Are we talking dancing, cricket, or pool?
Pool.
Oh, definitely keen. Sure, Graham Watson can sort me out. I was just saying about that overcut before by Simon, though. That's something that I used to do a lot, because I see a shot and I think you cannot overcut this ball.
And guess what you do?
Yeah, and I find a way.
And guess what you do?
Yeah. Stevie D's obviously a bit of a pool player.
Gentleman Jack and Coke Zero, please. Gentleman Jack and Coke Zero, please. Did you want a drink? Just a Coke or something.
Lovely touch from Maiden there, just a nice fine cut into the middle. He's got the balls in good position.
Yeah, he might be a hustler and a bustler sometimes, Baden Jackson, but he does have a brilliant touch game when he needs it. I just thought of something pretty raw as soon as Tara commented about the same time I actually said that.
Yeah, this is the real stage of the game I'm interested in. He's got sort of control, he's got good control of the white ball.
This is okay because it allows him naturally to come back down the correct end of the table.
I know that amateurs would look at that and go, he's overshot, but he actually hasn't. It means he can get fine cut, as you said, run back down the table. And he's got a couple of reds down there as options.
He has to make sure he doesn't go too far though,
yeah,
because then he cuts down his options for the reds, with the black and the yellow being sort of centre of the table there.
It looks like he has... Wow, maybe overcooked
too much
it.
On the one closer to the corner pocket, yeah.
He's got issues now, hasn't he?
Does it go past the yellow into the middle? There's a question.
I think it does.
Let's see if he plays it.
I think it's a very, very tough shot. It's not the shot he wanted to play, and he's looking at that corner.
Ruefully, almost.
It's not just about potting the ball, it's also about getting position on the next red, which is going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, you can't pot the ball if you can't see it, right?
These
By
are
and
the-
large.
These are these clutch situations. Played it with
Oh,
lovely
what a
control.
shot! Does he
Settle.
kick out enough?
Settle. Oh, if he's left that on, that's a magnificent shot.
You think it does? Yeah. He didn't actually play that shot, Tara, but he still managed to pot one. Stevie D, serious question in relation to Chris's competitive spirit. That when the body says no for cricket, maybe pool is an alternative that could quench the thirst for success. Do you reckon? Oh, honestly, do you reckon that could be an avenue for you if cricket is no longer possible?
Stevie D, hammering me, aren't you? Look, absolutely. Look, sport will always be in my life. This could work out beautifully if you... Oh, just not quite far enough. He's just left the door open for Simon here.
Closer, one of the three, yeah.
I'll always be involved in competitive sport, though, Stevie D, playing a little bit of golf. Just recently played in the New Zealand Open, which... in the Pro-Am, which
As
was
a Pro-Am.
absolutely
right?
amazing, yeah. Amazing occasion. Absolutely loved it. So, yeah, definitely I see pool very much part of my future.
Well, so many cricketers are good golf players too. It's amazing because basically you're lining up to a ball to hit it, but the difference is with golf, the ball's a lot smaller and it doesn't move.
And it's still, that's a great...
Yeah,
it is a
and
lot smaller.
still people cock it up.
Well, it never goes in the direction you want it to, and then you're trying to get like a funny shaped ball into a tiny little hole. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's just not ideal, is it? Whereas the pockets seem like absolute buckets here in comparison playing pool.
Yeah. The one great thing I love about golf, though, is that anyone can play against anyone, and there's a handicap system, and that handicap system, if it's run how it should, which most people do, then you can play anyone of any level and have a great game, and that's the other thing I love about it.
And be able to still win.
Yeah, and you can be beaten by sometimes a player that's not quite as good because their handicap says accordingly.
But you as a better player know you've got to lift your game, right? And
Yeah.
Simon there lifting his just needs this black to take a lead for, I believe, the first time in this match.
Yeah, I think Baden will be thinking that it was one that he let get away. He had the opportunity.
Just ran out of pos, didn't
Yeah.
he? It's a shame he ran out of pos because the shot before was an absolute beauty.
It was, he just overcooked the white, but I mean, even to get it in the vicinity, and
Yeah, drops it.
as we expected,
4 frames to 3, Simon Singleton leading. You like a bit of Black Sabbath?
sounds like I don't have a choice. No, I love it. Bit of heavy rock.
So it's a bit loud, but hopefully we can still hear each other. I went to see Black Sabbath 4 years ago when they were in Dunedin. Absolutely brilliant. Mike and I were talking about before about how Aussie's still got it, despite now being just over 70.
Yeah.
Still holds the crowd so well.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. He's an entertainer. I think him and Sharon have split it, haven't they?
Could be.
So
I don't follow that as much as I should.
No, well, you're going to say he's still got it, but I don't think he's still got Sharon. But
Yeah, he's got something, but
I
not
tell you
something
what,
else.
I'd love to sit down and have a drink with him. What an interesting life he's had. He's had some...
It'd have been non-alcoholic in his case, though.
Yes, no, now it would be, but he'd have some amazing stories.
Oh, of course.
He'd put the rest of us to shame.
Yeah. Well, genetically, he shouldn't still be alive.
No, I think
The amount
yeah.
of drugs and alcohol that have gone through him, but
Rock and roll never dies, though.
no, it doesn't, and neither do the excesses.
No, his legacy will live on. He was a bit of a legend, was he?
Your real name saying reckons it should be 4-all. Are you talking about after this frame's completed, or do you reckon we've got the score wrong? I might actually ask somebody to go and have a look for us, because that kind of worries me that somebody's got a score different to us. Just checking it now.
Yeah, 4-3 Simon.
4-3 to Simon, so the score on the screen is correct.
But good guess, it could be 4-all after this.
Could be preempting. Do
Do you go to see a lot of live music, or would you rather listen to it in your car or on Spotify or whatever?
Oh no, I love music. Obviously, even more so probably since Dancing with the Stars. It's so funny when you're on that show and then all of a sudden the song comes up that you dance to. Obviously got a bit more meaning, but no, music's always in my life. I've got 2 daughters that dance. Started a few dance lessons with my wife, which is pretty cool with Vanessa, so that's awesome. But no, love live concerts as well. Been to some beauties and been to some not so good ones. That we've all experienced this when you go to a live concert of one of your favourite artists, and they either play all their new stuff or all the stuff you don't want to hear. That's happened on occasions, but yeah, no, live music, amazing.
Well, it's good when they play a bit of variety, though, not just their old stuff or not just their new stuff, because they're obviously wanting to draw in new fans.
Yes.
So you play the old stuff because that's what people know, but the new stuff, if they listen to that, like it, then somebody will say to them, listen to what they've done before, listen to the evolution.
Yeah.
Because one of my favourite bands, they were playing in Auckland last weekend. I couldn't go up and see them because it was my wife's birthday, but Tool, they're probably my favourite band, and I've got all 6 of their CDs, and it would have been absolutely amazing to see them live. Who are the best bands that you've ever seen live?
Well, Baden at the moment, because he's just brought it back to full all.
Yeah.
Some great shots there. Look, when I was talking about, you're absolutely right. You want a little bit of a mixture of both, but I went to a concert not that long ago, well, it was a wee while ago, where loved the old stuff and played the whole new album, which hadn't even really been properly released in New Zealand. So we didn't really know the music. But I grew up with the likes of Bruce Springsteen, Bryan Adams, that sort of help. Love that sort of stuff. I think, was that the question?
Sort of. I'm thinking of any live music event you've been to. You kind of did, but you didn't specify which band it was.
I went to an amazing event in Hyde Park where I got VIP tickets to go up the front, and that was what was it called? Grade 8 or something. So it was the likes of Madonna, Bono, U2, all the top bands were there. So it was a bit like a Live Aid, but it was the later version.
Oh, but it's fundraiser.
There was like 120,000 people in Hyde Park. It was absolutely incredible, and that is the best musical event I've ever been. Been to Rod Stewart live, Bruce Springsteen, Dire Straits, I think back in the early days at Lancaster Park. But that, I think it was Grade 8, or something like that, or the Big 8. That was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, just the atmosphere, just like in here, even though this is at a much smaller level, but it still feels like, oh, he's going to get lucky. Yeah. That was completely fluke.
So as true sportsman now, would Baden just say, look, so sorry about that, I'm just going to forfeit my next shot? He won't do that, will he?
He can't.
No.
You have to play your next shot. You could always fluff it.
Baden, you need a little bit of luck in this game. You played a beautiful last frame, so you deserve a little bit of luck. Simon won't be thinking that. But I'm sure Simon's luck will come later, hopefully for Simon's point of view. Yeah,
it comes in swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? I'll just answer your question first, Sam. Breaking from the side versus breaking from the middle. I think it's just the angle of the balls on impact. I believe you're more likely to get the centre ball into one of the middle pockets, breaking from the side. A lot of players still break from the middle because that's what they do playing chartered club rules. They're just used to breaking from within the D, but if you've played a bit of 9-ball as Simon has, you get used to and comfortable with breaking behind the head string in the corner.
You seem to get, like you said, you seem to get balls either in the middle pockets or they seem to run down to the corners, don't they?
2 of them are on for the corner, yeah. If you're going left to right, yellows 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 and 4 are on for the corner. Tony Van Wyck asks, Chris, whatever happened to Chris Pringle, fast bowler for New Zealand?
Great question. Wonderful fast bowler in the, especially in one-day cricket. Bowled an amazing maiden over to beat Australia in Tasmania, which is one of my fond memories of Chris Pringle. Bowled a couple of wides, but Tony Crafter was the umpire actually. Didn't call them. But Chris Pringle now is a real estate agent in Tauranga. He'll tell you living the dream.
That's where Brittany Kidder's from. If Brittany's still in the chat, she can throw her hands up for Tauranga.
Yeah, Brittany will probably know, Chris.
Maybe Brittany's had some real estate dealings with him, even though she's a hairdresser by trade. I don't know why I thought about that.
Yeah, I'm not a hairdresser's favourites, really. There's not a lot of options with my my hair, really. Or
Yeah,
lack of.
sorry about it.
Yeah.
Best over in cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not being sarcastic, are you, Sam? You're not thinking about that stinker of a first over he bowled against Aussie.
Was it 19 balls? It was something ridiculous.
14 or something.
Yeah.
I do know that Daryl Tuffy on his day was a great bowler,
Yeah.
but that obviously wasn't his day.
No, that wasn't his day. That was probably one of the worst first overs in a one-day game. And I'll tell you why he got the first over, because he had a little bit of a knack. We went through a wee bit of a period when he was playing that he had this knack of getting a wicket in his first over. So if he was
First
ever
over
playing...
Tuffy.
Yep, so whenever... Oh, no.
Oh, Baden.
He'll be disappointed with
Baden.
that, because that's something that he would normally sink 999 times out of 1,000. That looked pretty straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just those little 0.1%ers in big match scenarios.
Yep.
Just like that catch you'd take 999 times out of 1,000 in a cricket game.
Or
You
that
miss
putt.
it when it's under. You miss it when you're under that much pressure and the crowd's all booing you.
Yeah. It's like
So
that little
on.
5-foot putt that you get 99 times out of 100, and then all of a sudden you're putting a 5-foot putt for $1 million. It just makes it a little bit longer.
Then you start getting the shakes
Yeah.
and the hole starts to decrease in size.
We've all had that. I mean, what Baden has done is given Simon an opportunity, but there's still some work to be done. Because I won't like the fact that those balls are bunched. I'm sure at some stage he'll be looking for at some stage to perhaps run into that bunch. He might not have to.
He's going to run into one of them, or he's just going to drop it in and get a snooker. I don't think he's got it. No, he didn't. Look at the reaction. Just swinging his cue across the table like that tells me that this black is very much on. Just wanted it to pull up, but had other ideas.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed. It's done. Let's give him Baden another opportunity, and he won't miss again.
Yeah, he drills it this time. Just walks away knowing, well, I got away with one there.
He did, because he didn't think he was probably going to get back to the table, but got an opportunity, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
Took our advice, took the pressure, did the simple thing right, and sunk the black. Or the 8 ball.
Stevie Denton saying he feels breaking from the front sends an even distribution of energy throughout the whole pack, whereas breaking from the side will divert that energy to one side of the pack. You've got more knowledge of this than I do, Steve, but it depends on how you hit the break and how much you push through, because if you push all the way through, just there, right there is Simon's partner Mel, just to the right of the screen there on that shot. Travelled all the way up here from Queenstown.
Oh,
Simon
lovely,
from Queenstown.
lovely part of the world, Queenstown.
Oh, beautiful.
let me
Have you
check-
ever dropped a sitter of a catch in international cricket? I'm pretty sure everyone has, but I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many. I've certainly dropped some sitters in international cricket and many other forms of cricket. It's the most awful feeling, because you feel like, one, you're letting the side down, two, you're letting the bowler down. It's just not a very nice feeling when it's one of those ones that you should just catch. And we've all done it.
Well, you feel like digging a massive hole, don't you? And then throwing some acid into it just for good measure.
Well, you normally tell when it's really that bad, when then you pray, please don't let the ball come back to me, and generally it does.
You have to want the ball coming to you, though.
But
you
when you make
want
a mistake,
another chance.
when you make a mistake like that, quite often you don't.
Yeah, true that. Brad Campbell, who is big name in pool here, says, I remember when you came down for the opening of Q Time Manchester Street Christchurch. Fantastic day, but as you can see, the game has improved. A lot different feel now.
I remember playing down at Q Time, played a few games in that opening actually, it was really good. The game has changed. There's obviously some talented players out there in New Zealand now, and we've got them coming from all over the world. and Simon and Baden have made New Zealand their home, which is great. But no, the game continues to improve.
There's a guy who played here yesterday, Brett Wells. He's a massive fan of yours. Unfortunately, he's crook at the moment, but he used to be the manager of Q Time back in the day before the earthquake tore it down.
I think I might have played him actually. I think we had a couple of games that night.
Yeah, left-handed, plays with a glove.
Yeah, pretty sure he beat me comfortably. Or he might have.
Big jovial dude.
He actually might have let me win one game. He's very good like that. He's a gentleman.
Yeah, Tony Van Wyck, a extremely good pool player himself. That's definitely right. Two players with the same skill set. It's one shot here and there that makes the difference.
Or mistake.
Yeah, exactly. The shot there, that's a mistake, or the brilliant shot here that wins you a frame. Mick Hill breaks from the centre, so I assume it's the way to go. Well, Mick Hill is arguably the best at the reds and yellows in the world, so whatever he does, you generally want to copy, wouldn't you? Just like with cricket, if you see something that works that another player does, then you think, well, I can make that work for me too.
Yeah, and we're about to see that from Baden. Now I'm really interested to see what he does here. He's got a couple of tough pots, and I'm really interested to see. That's the way that I perhaps would have gone, but it's going to be tough to get position on the next yellow.
Yeah, he's got to avoid all of those reds, and then that red below the D, the one that he's just ran behind, would you believe it?
Yeah, he just stunned it a little bit too much, didn't he?
Yeah, that white ball just killed off the rail, didn't it? Or he was trying to get the white ball around behind the red.
Yeah, I think he was trying
between the cushion and the red.
I think he was trying to leave it short. I would have tended to, well, it's easy in hindsight, just come out a little bit. It's really tough options now. He's got to go up the table. He's got to avoid all those balls. He's obviously got to go for the pot, doesn't he? Or just try and settle behind it.
If he gets behind it and gets a snooker, that would be amazing, but I don't think he'd be playing for it.
No, he'd be looking to just almost hit it on yellow, not dead weight, but...
It's going around 1, 2, 3 rails,
yeah.
I see. 1, 2, 3, barrel into the yellow.
I thought he might have gone in between, that shot in between the
I don't know whether it's naturally on though.
Oh, he's got to
at least not without side.
No, he has to put a bit of side on. I would have thought that's an easier option than going around 3 sides. Especially when on your last side there's a tough red to miss.
Yeah.
I reckon he'll go up and down the table, yep. A little bit of side. This is the chance. Oh, he's unlucky.
Oh, he's missed it completely.
He couldn't do that again if he tried.
Off. No, you couldn't. Can't he go off the side rail? Were you talking about the rail to the left? The rail to the right, sorry, Tara. Just go one rail, hit the yellow that way.
I think he could have, but I think
maybe not. I don't know. Sam Newman asks, will we see you back for team rugby versus team cricket, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to have to work on my fitness though. That was challenging.
You see what Simon did there? He had a free shot, so he played Baden's yellow, but you see where he's gone and put it, like nasty on the rail.
That's the difference between the amateur and the professional game. See, I would have been thinking a great opportunity to get some reds down, but like you said, he's thought further ahead. He's obviously trying to finish the game at this turn at the table, but what he's done, if he doesn't, he's made it a very difficult yellow, which is good play.
You sure you don't play professionally? You seem to be picking the shots just as well.
Oh, I've watched a lot, and just.
Have you been watching this online?
No, but I love watching quality people play sport, and I'd like to think I've got a reasonable handle on it. I'm not that good myself, but just knowing what they're trying to achieve. Used to watch a lot of Pop Black in my day. Love that, watching the old,
Well, you're a bit like me then. You're not so great at the game, but you know how to call a shot. Oh, yeah. By the way, On Cue streaming if you're wanting to watch more pool. Just a plug.
It's the place to stream it. On
it
Cue.
Yeah, definitely.
And hopefully we're on cue.
Yeah. Oh, we are. We always are. The managing director of On Cue sitting right behind you there, Chris. Just another big thank you to that particular person, that being Daryl Chambers, for giving us the opportunity to stream this service and to commentate on it. But
he's a good guy,
just an
Daryl,
awesome
isn't he?
setup.
He's a good guy, and also we're about to
Brilliant.
renegotiate our contracts, which is exciting news.
Oh, is this what we haven't been? I haven't been told. I have a feeling someone's holding out on me,
Oh, lovely
skirting
control.
my loins for that.
That's a lovely shot. Just that ability to get a little bit of backspin and put it in the exact spot that he wants.
And now just to play a little bit of a stun follow, not stun follow, but just a stun backspin shot here. Just enough so it's off angle so he can play through it if he wishes.
Yeah, where do you think he's going to want to hit the 8 ball?
Middle pocket. Don't move the white too much. Just on that same line and be pretty much bang on for the middle. You don't want to change too much. It's that KISS principle again.
Yeah, no, keep it simple.
But not the band.
Just always that middle pocket with a little bit of angle is always just a little bit more difficult. I think generally these guys try and leave themselves a corner, but
You have to be good in any pocket though. You're not going to pick and choose where you go.
and to be fair, that never looked like
Can't.
missing.
5 each. So this game not going the same way as all of the others.
Well, you feel like in most of the games that we've watched, both players have had opportunities, and it's generally through being a little mistake made with positional play, or perhaps overcutting, and generally they've been made to pay.
Middle pockets are the biggest pockets, says Terry Stewart. Well, if you look at it especially from front on, they are bigger because they offer more surface area to put a ball in, but what you'll get more is the angle is offset so the pocket plays smaller.
That's what I was talking about. I find with the corners, you can be slightly more off centre and still get away with the pot, whereas in the middle from an angle, only from my own experience, tend to miss it a lot more. But as you said, these guys are good in all pockets, so.
So both players are a third of the way towards the final. Which
again,
one will get there first?
Got to see an angle from
You've
the
got to
side.
find out. Chris, would you be honoured to read this lovely list of sponsors at the bottom of your screen?
Well, Anytime Fitness, Rangiora, Brilliant, Armouth, Bates Joinery, Inside New Zealand Pool, Need More Firewood, On Cue, of course, Peridon, Pool Canterbury, Rosendale Winery, love those wines.
Stevie Denton.
Strigan, Mike Hayes, and Q Sport Coaching. Oh, that's Mike Hayes from Q Sport Coaching.
Yeah, the eponymous Michael Hayes.
Yeah, we love the sponsors. Obviously, without the sponsors, none of this is possible. So, a big shout out to all of them. Thank you for being involved, and we really appreciate it.
Just looking at what happened off this break, it appears Simon broke and got a yellow down, so he will have the pick of the litter here.
So, if he wants, he can go red?
Yep.
Yep.
Doesn't have to stick with yellows.
I think he's going to go red, isn't he? The yellows aren't sitting pretty.
Exactly. That actually reminded me of a song, Sitting Pretty. It's a good song by the Datsuns.
Great band.
Great New Zealand band. You could run through here and be on one of those reds into the opposite middle pocket,
Oh, so
especially the one next to the yellow. That's a great shot.
you've commentated before, and if you can get that one off the yellow, now that's just opened it right up. Is it on? I don't know if it's on without him touching the yellow first.
I believe it's on with side, or even into the other middle pocket from there. I mean, the angle never tells the full story with
no.
the camera.
It's always tough. But the fact that he's taking so long over it, I think it's a 50-50 call.
Often the longer you look at a ball, though, that's maybe on and maybe not, the more on it is, which is amazing. It's almost like the shot reveals itself.
He's got someone in to look this closely.
That looked fine.
Yeah.
That yellow would have spewed more to the side had he hit it first.
And the reason that's a terrific shot. It's opened up the table now. He's now got himself in a position where he can get reasonably comfortably on all four of these reds. Possibly his only issue is going to be the 8 ball at the end.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the the landmines surrounding it, or the yellow landmines.
There's a big gap between
Cambodia, this is not though.
There's a big gap between those two yellows, isn't there? So I think that's probably where he's going to end up.
I'm just thinking that actually I've changed my mind. I thought maybe he'd go for the red in the corner first and then the red in the middle, but maybe the red in the middle offers a better shot at the black. We shall see which way he wants to go, because he's in great position for both of these balls. He just needs to pick a shot.
He's coming down the top
and then
end.
play it. After this frame we will have a 5-minute intermission. Get up, stretch your legs, get a drink, do whatever, and then come back fit and firing.
That's a lovely
nice
shot.
and adjacent to the red. Gives himself the best chance at manipulating the angles off this, because he's just off straight, so he can go to the top rail if he wishes and try to split between the yellows, or he can just screw off and try to sit himself between the three yellows so that the black is on.
It's still a tough shot though, isn't it? He's got to get position. No, he's played it beautifully.
Yes, needs to stop, and it does. Beautiful.
The one before was great, because if he had clipped that red on that middle pocket, that could have been real trouble, but that's a great finish.
So here we go, 6-5 at the break, so there will be an intermission, so join us back shortly, and Chris, you can answer that question that Tony's provided just after this break.
Not now. Are we breaking now?
Yeah.
I love my badminton too.
I've never played here.
Does anyone want to buy any tickets? Right, Chrissy, double or nothing on the money shot. Righto, the magic randomised number draw. 150! Oh, we'll give you one anyway, it was such a great match. We got it already, what's going on? It normally takes ages. Oh, 15 minutes of playing, it's gone.
I knew Richard won it, so I celebrate.
$50 voucher, spend it on anything. Buy Adam and buy a fries. Need to know anything good. Hey, we won't be long. Full lessons. We've got some wonderful donated prizes here. Righto, here we go. This is the Lorraine Versace clothing special. Righto, here we go. Number 37. These women are always asking us to go down over there. I can't believe it. 37. I hope it fits.
There's one good one you cracked all weekend.
You want a game, bro?
I'll give you 7-0 head start.
Oh, how about that? I'm sure I would get to 14-13. Right, another number. Number 8. Oh, you're not going to tell me to go up. Anyone got 8? Right, keep it going. 48. Oh, the disappointment in the room, I can feel it. Still going? No, he's not here. Man that bought 20 tickets, this is that. Go again. Number 53. So, are these all the same size? It's actually sexy lingerie. Have we got it? Have we got it over there? No. Draw again. What? 150. I'm sure that's come out before. Oh my God. I reckon John will win it. Oh, we're going to stop. Guys will be back to play shortly. Can I sneak it behind you? Sorry.
Righty-ho.
Get in there. We have to share a white now. Oh, that looks complicated.
Righty-ho, this is the money shot for today. This is actually Des Wilcox's fiancée making the shot for $500.
Well, it's Chrissy, isn't it?
Chrissy, yeah.
That's a great shot.
And there is your break. Baden Jackson's. He's got a hybrid style break. He doesn't break from the centre or right from the side.
I'll tell you what, I was just outside earlier, just getting a bit of fresh air, and we were talking about pressure situations and being in the moment, just watching these guys out there taking a bit of fresh air themselves, just regathering their thoughts and deep in concentration, both of them actually. So interesting to watch.
That's what's good about having the break every hour, 5-minute break. It just gives the players a chance to mentally reset. It's like what the breaks do for cricket, is that obviously you physically get tired, but mentally it's a reset as well.
Yeah, those breaks are great. Like you said, just gives you a chance to regather, think about what's gone before, move on, and then think about what's coming up, just to take some of that pressure off yourself.
Yeah. Chris, did you ever see Phil Horn, or do you ever see Phil Horn? Tony Van Wyck asks.
Yes, I do. I spent a little bit of time lived up in Auckland for 3 or 4 years and ran into Phil quite a bit. Great guy, good badminton player. Also his brother Matthew played a little bit of cricket with, Matt Horn, and played a bit of badminton against Matt as well, because I used to love my badminton. Not quite to Phil's standard, because he was a bit of a legend. Played obviously badminton for New Zealand, but did love my badminton in the early days. Their whole family's good at sport, basically. Just one of those natural families.
Naturally they just come into it, don't they? Just a shout out as well to all the Dunedin people who will be watching the stream en masse. In particular, Ronnie Whalen.
Ronnie's a bit of a legend down in Dunedin.
So I've heard.
Yep.
Who am I to doubt the person who told me that?
Had lots of fun memories down in Dunedin, especially playing at Carisbrook and being out amongst the people. Great town.
Oh, it's a great place to watch rugby, sorry. Even watching at Forsyth Bar the one time I've watched a rugby game there, it was absolutely massive and it was heaving.
Good venue for concerts now as well.
Yeah, no, I've been to there for a concert. That was the Black Sabbath concert I was talking about. Been there for the Wine and Food Festival. Sorry, it's a Beer and Food Festival. Absolutely loved it. Loved the fact that it was indoors as well, which is what we're trying to build at the moment in Christchurch.
Did you get much food at the Beer and Food Festival? Or just did the beer thing?
No, I had a bit of food.
Oh, nice.
Always have to be responsible, you know.
Yeah. I know.
Not all the time, though.
As Cantabrians, we can't wait for our stadium to open. I believe it's sort of probably another 4 or 5 years away, but still, it's worth getting excited about. Wonderful defensive shot.
See what Simon was trying to do. I think he was hoping to get that red in front of the pocket rather than where it is now, because Baden's got half a shot here. If he plays the weight right, he can get underneath the yellow slightly and push that other yellow over the pocket. Yeah, just something like that to shore that pocket up for himself.
Yeah, interesting now. Simon's got some options.
Read Melvin's comment. Oh, sorry, yeah. A couple of things I taught Des and Adam, who played in the last game. When they were young, it was a thinking game. If it's there to clean up, go for it. Well, definitely, I mean, game's all in the head. He said, I don't think this is such a good idea with this format, but Adam almost pulled it off. Well done to you, to both of you.
How you going? You alright?
Yeah. Guy just over my shoulder, I played pool pairs with him last year in the Nationals. Greg East in the building.
Chris, how are you?
Good, thanks, Greg. How are you?
We had a few double international players, Jeff Wilson, cricket and rugby. Did you ever play cricket with Jeff Wilson?
I did. I played golf with him last week as well.
Is he a good golf player?
Yeah, he's a very good golf player down at New Zealand Open. He didn't make the cut and he was absolutely devastated, because I think he's tried 6 times now to make the cut in the Pro-Am. Hasn't quite managed it, but no, he's a very good golf player. And obviously the other great double international was Brian McKechnie as well, who played cricket. and rugby.
As soon as you said that, look whose name came up.
Yeah.
The guy who received the infamous underarm ball.
Nickname Colt. Great man, Brian McKechnie. And he's good at basketball, Jeff, also.
And he's a good...
He's again one of those natural sportsmen. You put a ball or a bat or anything in his hand,
and he'll make magic with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we've been lucky to have quite a few players who have excelled at more than one sport internationally.
Yeah, for a small nation, we do very well in the international stage.
I think was it Sophie Devine? Wasn't she a hockey player as well as before moving to cricket?
Yeah, I think she might have played basketball as well.
And basketball, yeah. Now she's one of the best female cricket players that New Zealand's ever produced.
Yeah, certainly. In the her all-round ability has been phenomenal. She's had an unbelievable season in the BBL in Australia. Recently in the Women's World Cup, played some amazing innings.
It's just such a shame we couldn't quite get up to win one of those games that we lost. I mean, we had to beat Australia in the last match to qualify, and you're always up against it playing Australia to qualify, but we just got so close, and like the game against India, we just kind of flubbed it at the end.
That was a terrific shot from Baden.
There's more to think about, isn't it? Because he's put another ball over the bin. So not only did he manage to get out of the snooker, but he put a ball over a pocket.
Yeah, he's put Simon under a bit more pressure here, hasn't he? Because he's put that other yellow over the pocket, he's given himself so many more options, and it's so much harder for Simon to be defensive here.
There is still a little bit of room to play a defensive shot. Maybe if you can run slowly into the red on the left rail and have that ball just flick off the rail and cover the white ball.
Like
of course, if he runs too far, he risks going and off.
He could also pot it like that. Oh, it's a lovely shot.
He didn't quite get the cover on the other yellow though.
No.
But it was still good thinking and good alternative thinking.
Yeah, this is that wonderful stage of the game where it's risk and reward. So many options for both players. Do they take on that shot that could win them the game, but knowing if they get it wrong, it could also cost them?
Yeah, double-edged sword sort of thing.
So Baden's got a couple of options here. Who takes the yellow down the table.
I see Tara's still alive and well as well in the chat.
Oh, looks like he is
Good to have you on. Oh, 2-1. Ouch and ouch.
Still possibly took that shot on knowing that if it went wrong like it has, that it's still difficult for Simon to finish.
But now that he's gone and off, he can just pot the yellow as a free shot.
Which makes it a little bit easier.
A lot easier. That's why Bowden will be stewing in his chair.
Still a lot of work for Simon to do here though, but it's there for the taking.
Just needs to not get stuck next to the yellow here. I think he's going to go around everything just to open up the rest of the table. But that red still goes past the yellow. I thought he might just try to quietly pot the red into the middle, but obviously it's more on than I think. Roberto Taboada saying he's actually he's in my pool team now. Why are you guys talking about different sports? You should talk about pool. Well, afraid to say it, Roberto, but Chris Harris is a cricket player by trade, but he also plays a bit of pool. So while I've got him on, why not grill him on both?
Yeah, but I don't mind talking pool either because the quality of these two players.
This cuts. Doesn't look great, but it cuts, and if he can get a nice full contact on the red, he won't go off.
Yeah, he's still not happy about something.
It's the fact that he's not got the control over the shot that he would like. He didn't get straighter on that ball, so the white's going to run away on him.
So a fine cut into that corner is going to run that other red.
Yeah, and if it comes off the red too fine, then there's a chance that it'll run in and off into the other corner pocket. That's what he'll be afraid of. So he needs to get that so much out of his head, because the more you think about it, invariably the more it happens. So thinking about not doing something and you do it.
I know there's not an actual shot clock, but is there an expectation that there's a shot played in a certain amount of time?
See, it nearly happened, but he controlled it well enough. Sorry, could you repeat?
So I know there's not a shot clock, but I guess there's an expectation that there's a shot played within a couple of minutes. You can't take too long.
You can't take all day, no. I think people start getting on your back when you take too long as well, and one thing that you use to help you is the crowd, and if the crowd go against you, then you lose an element that can help you win. So if you play the game at a good pace and you involve the crowd positively, then you get it back in the same way. But if you play the sport without really respecting it or not respecting the crowd, then the crowd will get on your back, and that makes it harder.
There was a lovely long pot from Simon, and that was part of his concern in that previous shot that he played, that he knew he couldn't get the ideal position, and he's left himself again another reasonably straightforward pot, but it's difficult to get that position he needs. And he's been forced
at it. He snatched at it.
And the door very much open for Baden now.
I think he might have just sold the farm there. Stevie D with a lovely comment. I love what he's written there. Good mix of banter, sports and pool, general chat. Great job, loving it. Well, it's great to have you still following, Stevie, but champion pool player, class act as a person as well. Hopefully you'll get to come down and still watch this. Might even get to catch Chris Harris before he leaves.
You need to be quick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Simon will be ruining this. It was one that slipped away, and Baden's taken full advantage.
Yeah, Baden making him pay, so 6 frames a piece.
You can't feel, but this just feels, got the feeling it's going to go all the way to the wire.
I reckon you'll see all 29 frames here. Yep. It's going to be the first hill match we've seen. Still a lot of time for you to get yourself down to the Racecourse Hotel and Motor Lodge here in Sockburn, Christchurch.
Nothing better than watching live sport, is there?
Oh, no.
Well, second best guys streaming it, obviously, as you guys are doing, but if you get a chance to come down, great atmosphere, great to watch it live.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing watching it on the stream, and I love what you guys and girls are all doing, watching it on the stream, but if you have the opportunity, you can watch it live and be even more amazed. Oh, the white ball, how did that not go in? It's okay though, and he's got a red to start with.
Or even a yellow. Yellow in the middle pocket.
I think the reds are fine, because the red that's... Yeah, I'm pointing to it, you can't see it, but the red that's to the left of the leftmost yellow of the three.
Well, he sunk a yellow off
the
break, didn't he? But he has to take red because he hasn't got another shot.
But yeah, that red I was talking about, that will go if he can remove those other reds around that corner pocket, bottom right of screen. Tony Van Wyck asking you, Chris, do you still play indoor cricket?
Haven't played for a while, but it was a game that obviously I love playing as well, and was fortunate enough to represent New Zealand. But we'll probably play again.
Oh, indoor cricket's awesome. I've played it myself. I confess to not being very good at it, but still it's quite enjoyable. Like pool. I mean, you could be rubbish at pool and still enjoy it.
Yeah, well, there's lots of different grades in indoor cricket. You've got social grade, and there's even a mixed grade. The guys and girls play together. And then there's the slightly more serious sort of A grade stuff as well. So
6 and 8 aside, 2020.
Yep.
Also all for inclusion in the sport, having the ladies being able to play as well and playing in mixed teams and ladies teams.
Well, it's happening a lot more. You've got a lot more ladies also playing in men's competitions. We saw that in the New Zealand Open with a female pro playing, and I think there's one happening in the States at the moment as well. So, yeah.
Well, that's that key word, isn't it? Open, as in open to everyone. Don't look down your noses if you see a lady playing in an open event where it's generally been all men.
Because some of the women golfers now are
They've won
phenomenal.
they've won themselves the opportunity to be there, so respect it. Oh, ha ha, Terry. I'll just read this because it is true. Should have been listening yesterday, Steve. John and Baden talking about naked poll calendars, polls, lesbians. I know what you're going to write. Other things not quite poll, funny. And Baden Jackson's quite loose-tongued at times, so we ended up talking about a bunch of rubbish other than poll. Not quite the same sort of way that we've been doing it. Ours has been a fair bit more clean, but Baden likes to push the envelope.
But that's why it's such a great game, because you don't just necessarily talk about what you're watching, you talk about sport and life in general, and it sounds like you guys covered a lot more subjects than that yesterday.
Oh yeah, definitely. Baden's influence, yeah. Well, he was the ringleader, so I was just going along with it. Simon for a 7-6 lead, and yes he does.
Answers right back, and that's pretty much how the last few frames have gone. Simon gets one in front, and then Baden comes back.
Well, that was a lovely clearance though from Simon. He managed to get himself on the... He managed to get rid of the hard balls early in the frame, so made everything else easier. And when you do that, then you start to take the pressure off, and you feel more relaxed and more like you're not having to make it yourself. Baden's nickname there, as you can see on the back of his jersey, is the shot maker. Simon's is the postman, because according to him at least he always delivers.
That's a bit like Gavin Larson was called the postman as well.
Because he always delivered.
Always delivered on a line and length. And I guess
115 clicks, good length.
Yeah, so Baden will really want some time at the table here. It's like any sport, the more time you spend playing, the more you get into a rhythm, the better you become, the more consistent. And that's what we saw from that last frame from Simon.
Nothing better. Now, have you had any experience with that? You see that rack that just got taken off the table, or that template?
Yes.
The shark rack?
Yes.
Have you had any experience with that?
I have. They use it a bit.
What do you think?
I quite like it. Obviously, the trouble is, if you're not used to it, you sometimes forget to remove it.
Seen a lot this tournament where it's been left on the table longer than it should.
Yeah.
So it's affected the roll of balls that come over it.
Well, I guess there is a situation where what can happen is there's a ball sitting on it, you can't really remove it. And then it's quite easy to forget that it's there because it's clear.
Yeah, well, you kind of just focused on potting the balls. You forget the fact that you've left the shark rack on the table.
Yeah. The Baden will be disappointed to miss that, but hasn't left anything too much on for Simon. There is opportunities, but nothing too simple.
I believe Baden did pot a ball before that, so he is on the yellows. So Simon can't take the yellows as his own set. Now, if you pot a ball off the break and then miss your next shot, then the table's still open.
Yep.
So you have to make sure you pot the first shot after the break. Otherwise, open table, other guy gets the pick of the best balls.
So he did have an open table then, because he got one off the break, didn't get another one.
No, he did get another one, but he missed the one to the middle, so he is on yellows, and Simon's on reds. That red might actually go in off that yellow into the middle pocket, but maybe the yellow could be too far past the pocket for the shot.
A bit of a risk, isn't it?
You leave that red safe if you do that. You do have a possibility of pushing the yellow safe if you play this shot and get it wrong. I just wonder if that's maybe swaying him towards it. Love the commentators, guys. Thank you very much, Roberto.
And exactly what you're saying, this where as an amateur or not a particularly good player, I'll be looking to take that red just to his right in that corner, but then not looking too far afield, whereas Simon
Shot was on. Played it well.
And now he's
very
created
well.
a very good opportunity for himself. And once again, he's thinking 3 or 4 shots ahead, whereas I'm thinking 1 shot ahead, and that's the difference.
Yeah, the thing when you're on a clearance is often you want to do it in reverse in your head. So pot the black right, but you want to get the position on the black. So which ball do I play last to get position on the black? And then you work backwards from there. That's what a lot of players do.
I have hard enough working forward.
Yeah, it's like walk forward and stumble and fall, but try walking backwards.
Oh, nice shot.
That worked just nicely. Got to be careful of the kick that he's going to get off the yellow if he plays this red. If you're just hoping that he can avoid more of those yellows so he doesn't get snookered.
Yeah, he won't mind a fine kiss, but he won't want to get it too thick, will he? Because he knows if he runs past that yellow, he's got a couple of options. But what it does, taking this red out, opens up that corner also for the 8 ball. Well, he got it a bit thicker than he wanted.
That's all right.
But he's gone far enough, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's still on that red to the left bottom.
He's got a bit of action on this cue ball, though.
Oh, hell yeah. This is going to be difficult, not just to pot, but to make sure he gets enough backspin and side spin on the cue ball to get back down the other end of the table for the last red.
His ideal shot is to get down as far as he can to the right of that ball at the end of the table.
Has to also be careful he doesn't go in off either. He's cued it all wrong, and you get a little laugh. He knows how bad that was.
Got great position on the red, but just didn't do the first thing.
Yeah, can't
got
get
the red.
B without A. And Roberto Taboada saying, I remember 15 years ago I saw Chris Harris playing pool at the Rock Pool. You've got a good memory.
Yep, certainly played some pool down there as well.
Oh, Baden.
Had an opportunity and he'll be disappointed with that,
Oh,
Baden.
he's absolutely gutted that one.
Just hit a little bit too hard, didn't he?
Oh, no, he just got the angle wrong. I think that the
that as
speed
well.
was fine for the next shot.
Simon will be thinking,
Oh, now
no.
Simon's bottled one. We see he had to follow through to get on the red, but the pot shouldn't have been that hard.
It's just funny as the game wears on, a little bit of, perhaps, I don't know, tiredness, but it's been a big weekend, lots of pool played, and just a couple of simple mistakes.
Yeah, and you see that happening too. Sometimes you get a frame like this where it's just messy and it's like a bloody disease and it rubs off on the next player.
Yeah, Baden still, wonderful opportunity here, but still a lot of balls to get down and positional play to
I think
get
he's
right.
fine. I believe that first yellow goes anyway, the one closest to the white, but it's the second one that he'd really want. But either of those go, it's fine, but he's just going to lay in behind the yellow for a snooker here. Yeah, play the rules, make Simon sweat. Well played.
Well, a ball in hand would be nice, but I think Simon is too good a player not to make contact on the reds.
So was a free shot in this game, although you can take the option of a ball in hand if you get a foul and place it behind the head string. So you see, you didn't have to hit a rail after contact there because it was a full snooker or a total snooker. Yeah. Usually you have to hit a rail after contact in your ball, but on that occasion, because you're totally snookered, you don't.
Safety looks difficult here from Baden, so we may see him look to take on the pot.
Take the long one on and just bang it in 100%.
Looks like he's playing with a bit of curve as well. Well, he is
No,
playing
he was
safety.
playing for the safety. Lovely.
It's a wonderful shot. That's those clutch moments. Or if he gets that wrong, he again leaves the frame open for Simon, but with a wonderful defensive shot.
Yeah, well, Simon's got a bit more to think about here too, because that yellow near the middle pocket makes this harder to hit. He might have to come off 2 rails, perhaps. Yeah, come off 2 or even 3 rails and try and sit in behind the red,
Again, lovely
which
shot.
he's tried to do, and played it really well, but didn't get the snooker.
Can't see Baden not taking on this opportunity. The yellow in the middle, and the game's there for the taking. Yep, that was the one he was worried about.
Everyone
Now it's
knows.
wide open. And again, pretty much how this game has gone for the last half a dozen frames. Take it to 7-all.
Just that wiped its feet on its way in, but as it say, the position's beautiful here. Just drop this one, and he could elect to backspin and put the black in the opposite corner pocket, or he could just follow through slightly for the middle. I'd probably backspin this to about where it is now. Just makes the shot a bit easier. Yeah, something like that. And the seesawing nature of this game continues. 7 frames apiece. They can't be separated.
I might grab it, I might shoot, is that right? I might shoot now.
Oh, just let people know.
Yeah.
Say thanks for joining and so on.
Is that another break?
No, I don't know what he's doing. So, Chris Harris, it's great to have you on stream. Great to meet you. Great to hear your thoughts on life, pool, dancing, cricket, even. Just stand up, guy. Must leave us for the moment.
Well, thank you, John. It's been great. Not quite stand up because I'm sitting down at the moment, but it's been an absolute pleasure. And it's, as I said, it's wonderful to watch live sport, and especially at this level. I mean, these guys are phenomenal to watch. I know we've talked about them making some mistakes, but some of the quality of their shot play, control of the white, their positioning, just takes the game to a new level, and it shows with a bit of practice that we can get better. But these guys are phenomenal to watch, and can't wait for the final. And so if the streamers want me to come back, there may be an opportunity. Perhaps I can come back and do some work in the final, but we'll leave it up to those that are streaming it and see if they want me to come back or not.
I'm pretty sure you'd get a good response from that, Chris. I don't think anybody would begrudge you coming back for the final.
But thank you, it's been awesome, and hopefully I might see you a bit later.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well.
Legend,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris, we're with you in one seat.
Thank you.
Pleasure. No problem. Good fun. Nice to meet you too. You're going to be sore voice now, yeah.
Yeah, well, somebody else might come on and commentate with me. I think Mike's going to do it.
Your mic's still on as well.
Yeah. You might have heard of just a little bit of background noise that... Oh, here we go. Adam Lilly's going to join me on the mic. So
what do we do?
Adam, we're speaking into the one mic because this one's not working so well.
Right.
But great to have you on.
Yep. Good to join you, John. 7-all here, Baden Jackson, Simon Singleton. Possibly the 2 more experienced red and yellow players in New Zealand.
Well, both of them have a lot of experience, and Baden's just such a fiery character too, and we haven't really seen him open that up because of how close the game's been. But talking about close games, yours was an absolute beauty to watch. I mean, 14-4 down, and you came back to get within a frame before Des was able to finally get that last black. What was going through your head at that stage? You were 14-4 down and you just fouled, and you walk away from the table thinking, oh, I've just bottled this.
Yeah, you're 14-5 down, everything's kind of, all your pre-match mentality's kind of gone from there, and I'm playing terrible, I've made so many mistakes, and I'm kind of just thinking from there, if I can reel off a few frames and, what happens after that is just lottery kind of thing, and I reel off 2 or 3, and then I kind of get into it. I get the crowd behind me, and I hear a couple of cheers. So I think, maybe chuck up the hands and try and get the crowd behind me, and maybe that might help me adrenaline-wise, and get the crowd behind me, and it might affect Des a little bit. And I said to Des after the match, I said, apologies. He was stoked to get over the line because he was struggling towards the end, but I kind of played pretty good those 8 frames, and I said to him, I didn't want to have to do it because it's not really in my book of strategies, but I had to use the crowd to my advantage at that stage because I was just on ground zero. I had no confidence at all, and I just thought pretty much.
Oh, Simon, what have you done?
I just thought pretty much, like this is last resort. I try and use the crowd to my advantage and reel off a few frames and get back into this match. And then, back to 14-13 and miss a red into the corner, come back across with a black, and, rest is history. Des pulled off a magnificent 2-ball finish. It might not look much, but definitely under circumstances, under that pressure with all the crowd behind me, that was massive from Desi, and hopefully from there he can take that into the final, and hopefully we can have a Kiwi winner because he definitely deserves it. I grew up with Des my whole life, and he's a great player, and he deserves a big title like this.
Yeah, great player, great guy too, isn't he? Chloe Jackson there, well that's actually Tara Jackson on Chloe's account. Hi Adam, unlucky in your match, sweetheart.
Oh, cheers Tara. Say hello to Lewis and Chloe for me. Miss them heaps. This looks like being a close match, 7-all. Was it Baden that just played the last shot? He's played quite a good shot there, snooker on the Reds. Both class players, got no favourites, both of them really close friends. No, the big thing is with that match between me and Des especially, it's a great Southern knockout. It's the first tournament of this kind, and to produce a match like that, 14-5, 6 down, whatever I was, to come back and make a bit of a match of it, and the atmosphere that we produced at the end of that match was just massive for the sport, and hopefully that carries through to the next few years. Hopefully it's held at this venue again because this venue is great, and the players that we've got is just absolutely unbelievable. The quality of pool and the atmosphere was just second to none. Like I've never experienced that in New Zealand in the 11 years that I've lived here. It was just unbelievable to be a part of.
Yeah, that was quite possibly the best endorsement that we've ever received for any Q Sport competition, is what you said, that it's the best ever crowd, or atmosphere should I say, that you've ever experienced in a Q Sport tournament in New Zealand. There's a question for you, Adam. I think you've just read it yourself. How would old Calvin rate that? Yeah,
Kevin, cheers for your comment, Brad. That means a lot, mate, coming from you especially. Terry Stewart and Tony Van Wyck, cheers for your comments, guys. Kevin Jordan, Adam, what would Dunlop say about your performance? I think he'd be proud either way. Me and Desi, young Ryan King as well. Calvin didn't have much time for Ryan because he's a little bit of a dickhead, to be honest. But all of us grew up together, and to produce a match of that quality, definitely sets the stage and sets the standards for the future years to come in New Zealand. Blackball definitely.
Pinelli as well. Hard luck this morning, Adam, mate, the man. Look forward to seeing you in top grade as well, by the way, Pinelli.
Oh, it's a good shot by Baden there.
Oh, both.
Yeah, he's a little bit fine on this yellow. He might just have to play a bit of a positional shot. I don't think he can quite hold if he drops this in, so he might have to come 2 rail, or maybe 1 rail back across for the yellow to middle. He's got to control this well. Flick a bit of the left hand side to check the white ball up. Hold for the yellow to the right middle.
Tony Van Wyck saying that the Levin Classic used to be like this back in the 90s. I can just imagine, because it had that massive atmosphere in the late 2000s when I started playing it. And I remember Des
when Des first started playing as, I believe, a 12-year-old, and I've related this story a number of times, but Jeff Bullis said that he reckons that Des is going to be the future of the sport, and how right's he been?
Oh, definitely. Des is class act. Growing up in New Plymouth, we've been around many top players, and I think the thing with New Plymouth players is just that hunger to win, John. Like everyone kind of hates losing, no matter what kind of grade you play, and just missed the red. He's landed alright. He can drop this in.
But he's on it.
I think he can drop this in and maybe hold for a long yellow.
The Bowen boys are here.
Yeah, nah, good place to grow up, New Plymouth.
He had to load up on that.
He's tried to play it confidently. He's tried to play it confidently and swing around a few hours. He's rushed it a little bit. But yeah, I think maybe he could have dropped it in. I don't know whether he would have landed in behind the red on the side rail. Who knows? Simon's got a chance here. Whether he plays the red onto the other red, I think he will. Come back across, off the side rail, back across.
Linz Franklin says, great effort, Adam. You didn't drop your head and hung on in there.
Oh, is he snookered? Yeah, he's snookered. He's snookered. Yeah, he's just played that a little bit too hard.
I think the red A,
does wear in the glove help.
Just wanted that to stop, the white ball just to stop a little bit.
Just
even
for
on
laughs.
the rail maybe.
Does wearing a glove help? When it gets a bit hot in the venue and it gets really sweaty, then yeah, wearing a glove does help. I mean, it's just personal preference, really. That's a great shot by Simon.
Hot. And reasonably good position on the black too.
Yeah, he's got decent shape on the black just to play the open pocket here.
Yeah, I don't wear a glove. I've only ever worn a glove for a very short amount of time, and then I lost it and never bought another one. I don't personally like them, but I know they help a lot of players.
Yeah, he's played it dead way and it's there. Yep, good shot by Simon. 8-7. Takes the lead. Who broke first, John?
I cannot remember, just to be honest.
Do you know whose break it is next? So it's 8. Oh, it looks like it's Baden's. So 8-7 Simon Singleton in this race to 15. Baden's break. Yeah, going back on that question, does wearing a glove help? I mean, when it's really humid conditions and it's quite hot and depends what kind of club you're playing in, if the AC is quite good, the air conditioning, and
you might not need one.
You know, getting your cue flowing nicely through your bridge hands always helps. When it gets quite sticky, it's a horrible feeling. Wearing a glove does help in those situations, so it's just all personal preference, really.
Best of 15, was that the deciding frame? It's a race to 15, just for laughs. The difference is that you have to win 15 frames to win the match. So we're still at least 7 frames away from completion in this game.
Yeah, I think just with it doesn't even come down to the ability of these two guys now. With the score 8-7, it's more just down to the mental side of the game. I think both Baden and Simon probably at this stage believe that they can win this match, so I think it might go quite close. Just as you can see by that shot by Baden there, just ramming that red.
Just lariats it in.
Yeah, in between those two yellows, straight into the corner pocket. I think that shows you where this match is going to head. I think this is going to be a close one, John. We've got two of the best small white players in the country.
For me, I think the two best small white players in the country.
Yeah, definitely. Along with, Stevie D.
Stevie D, you're rising up the ranks in that as well too.
I wouldn't say. maybe rising, but definitely not anywhere near this level, John. I've played snooker my whole life in charter club pool.
It's a bit of a harder sell for you to get
It's
proficiency at this game, isn't
there's
it?
quite a few adjustments to be made, so getting where I got to this weekend was, it hurt a little bit in the end, but then again I'm quite proud with the spectacle that we managed to put on in that semi-final between me and Des. Best luck to Desi. Baden's got a run through on this red in the middle, leave the other red to the corner pocket.
So Tony Van Wyck reckons that this match has 14 more frames to go, and at the moment I wouldn't disagree with him. I think the way it's gone punch for punch at the moment, this could very well go hill-hill.
He's played that nice, Baden. You can just drop this red in now with a little bit of a bottom right hand side just to flick out off the side rail, land himself nicely on the other red, and then he can just stump back down up table for the black.
So Tony Van Wyck saying it's hard to be good at all forms of the game. Definitely true, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Hard to balance all of them. Looks like Baden's going to play two rails here. A little bit of right hand side, flick this red in, come off the top rail, side rail, and back down for the black into the right bottom. Oh, he's missed it.
Dang it. He got that little kick that we've been mentioning quite a lot, and instead of the ball actually throwing towards the pocket, it's because it kicked the white on contact.
I know this sounds
so you
terrible.
don't get that action that you want.
It's actually nice to see someone make the same mistake that I made so many times this weekend, John. You think the side's just going to throw into the object ball a little bit and throw it in, and it doesn't quite. It comes off thick, like Simon said a few times, and result is he's hit it thick and he's missed the pot. So Simon with a chance here. He could play snooker now. Pot a ball, play snooker. Depends how he's feeling.
It's like the one in the middle from here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think he might go for these.
The one in the middle, and maybe if he's got the angle, run through and get nice and close to the yellow next to the D.
Yeah, just a little bit of a left hand top, just top left hand side. No. Who am I to question Simon?
He's going to take the ball on the rail after this one, isn't he? Immediately after, you'd reckon, because that would be a hard one to get onto the black from.
Yeah, so he's paid for that one down the long rail now. He can just play this in, and the rest is history, really. Just one good pot now, and looks like being 9-7.
He just needs to make sure he pops it off the rail nice and cleanly, because if
These-
he ends up on the rail, then that's not as easy a shot.
Yeah, in my match against Des, these are sliding in a bit better than the first day. I mean, the table's been worn in a little bit more, and can kind of just chuck these in with a little bit of a bottom side. Just they're sliding in a bit better than what they did the first day, to be honest, John. So I don't see him missing this. Just one of those shots.
Just needs a little bit of almost stun on this, doesn't he?
There you
There you go.
Hopefully he's not straight on this.
If he is, he'll have to probably jack up on it quite a lot, wouldn't he? And that brings its own set of challenges with
You just
it.
play a little stun screw down the middle of the table here, John, for the bottom right corner. He'll just come past the middle pocket.
Was an angle.
Yeah, he's alright. He can just
He's
drop this
used
in.
it quite beautifully.
He'll just drop this in.
Here's Otago, just for laughs. Queenslanders in Otago. There we go. Just rolls it in nicely, and for the first time in what seems like a long time, Afreya gets a 2-frame lead. Simon Singleton leading Baden Jackson 9 frames to 7.
making that second ball in the rack into the left middle. He's been doing that quite regularly during the tournament. Had a wee practice with him the night before the quarterfinals of this tournament, and he's got a method sorted out to make a ball into that middle. Pretty good to fall back on, making the ball off pretty much every break if you can. Come on, Baird. Come on, Baird, and go on, Tara.
Sorry.
Yeah, I hope this is close. It deserves to be close. I think both guys, top players in New Zealand, both highly respected in our game, and it's definitely going to be a good match to watch.
But you also start to see how partisan the crowd can get too with games like this, how you've got basically Team Baden and Team Simon, but my only hope is if that does happen that you've still got respect for the other player no matter what happens. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be an issue, but sometimes with a lot of really tough, gritty sort of matchups, you get those crowds that start getting in your face, and it's almost a hostile environment if you're not the favourite.
I think Baden's asking for the shark rack to be moved here. It's going to look like a tough one. I think
there's about 3 balls that
three
could
or
come
four
into
balls
play.
sitting. Yeah. Anyhow, Simon's missed that red down into the corner.
So Adam Short is there doing the duties as the referee cum controller.
Wait for Eds to budge out the way.
Yeah, you did right there, Tony. The loser gets absolutely nothing in the semi-finals.
Don't remind me, Tony.
I didn't imagine how much pressure you'd be under, but also how much you'd think you wouldn't be thinking about the money at that point. You'd just be thinking about winning.
No, money. Honestly, the money didn't come into play for me even from the start of the tournament. It's all about lifting that trophy at the end and being able to call yourself the best out of the 8 players in New Zealand. Whenever the money starts becoming first priority, that's when you got all your priorities wrong, really. Yeah, money shouldn't come first. If you're playing for the money, you're in the wrong game.
Isn't it?
If you're playing for the money, then you shouldn't play at all, in my opinion.
I mean, it's good to have, but it's the prestige and the recognition that you're playing for.
Definitely.
People remember you for what you win and how good a person you are off the table rather than how much money you win in tournaments.
Yeah, of course, John. Baden's got a chance of a skill shot here. He could play this yellow to the corner and try and cannon the red into the other corner. He's tried
That's definitely what he's tried, isn't it?
A little bit too much stun.
We'll take a break after this frame.
Cheers, Corey. Thanks for kind words, mate.
Music.
After this frame, yeah.
Cheers, Pete.
Not yet.
Is the volume right?
Yeah. It's all good.
So I do believe there will be a break or an intermission after this frame is completed.
Oh, Baden's a bit short there on that yellow. He's left a gap for the other red to go in behind that, so Simon with a chance here. I imagine he's going to attack.
Yeah, I just wonder if that yellow's close enough to the pocket to put the red in off of. Put the red in off of that yellow there, then that's going to potentially open that pocket up for the other red. But again, how much risk are you willing to put into your shot to do that? Because if you cock it up...
It's a bit deceiving from this angle whether that red will go off that yellow. So Simon opted in for the safety. And it looks like he might have found...
See the edge of both of those yellows, I believe, closest to him.
Yeah, he's found decent cover, so a bit of a containing safety. He's going to buy himself another shot, probably. Which he does.
Baden's gotten a little bit fortunate there, I think, to whip the black to cover that red, because before that both of those reds were pretty much on, but now it makes it a bit more difficult to get position on that red behind the black. So just the little things.
I wonder if Simon's going to look at creeping this red just in behind that yellow in the top right corner, with that red all just past the red and the yellow up into. Looks like he's lining up for the middle.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting.
Yeah, he's missed that.
But maybe he knew that the white ball was going there too, so Baden wasn't going to get a shot either way.
Bit of a shot to nothing.
Yeah. That's not going to get there, I don't think. Whether or not he wanted that to get there is another matter. Just get something near that pocket just to put a bit more pressure on the red or the black, I suppose. And also what Simon's got here is perhaps he'll feel like he needs a bit more urgency. Just try to create that bit of urgency that he doesn't need.
Oh, he hasn't found a rail there, has he?
Yeah, he got a rail.
Oh, he did.
He needs to put a fair bit on this, does Baden. Again, the skill shot may come into it. If he cuts this long yellow, then the red may very well go in as well, but I don't think it'd be...
I don't think the angle's there. Just gonna...
Just touch the yellow and
buying his time a little bit. Playing patience with Simon, waiting for him to make a move. Baden knows full well that he's kind of in control with that yellow in front of the other red, so he's just playing patience with Simon at the moment, seeing what letting him make the first move. And meanwhile, Simon's just playing the same back, so this could be a few more minutes in this frame.
Yeah, see, the criticism that two-shot gets is that you get frames like this too often, but you do get this in Blackball, but it just tells you how much you can adapt the rules to a style of play that's required to win a frame. You're not necessarily potting balls to win frames, especially when a frame's like this and you've got multiple balls tied up. You are kind of biding your time and forcing the opponent into playing a rash shot and making a mistake, and that's how you get the two shots and you pounce on it.
Yeah, there's safety game in every form of cue sports, you know. It's all part of the game, and most of us don't like playing it, let's be honest, but it can win you a lot of frames and matches. So Barry Appleton there, stalemate, quite possibly.
Not in this game, surely. Maybe in your game, perhaps.
No, I see. What's this? Corey Reed, Baden's initials. Just realised they spell B. Yeah.
Like Watling or a certain other thing.
Good one, Corey. Nah, I wouldn't be calling stalemate just yet. I think give it a few more visits each player bears, and you'll see a bit of a development in this frame. It's not quite tight enough on the spectrum yet to quarantine a stalemate.
Yeah, and you have seen a couple of attempts at potting balls that haven't quite worked, so you can't classify those as safety shots.
Just for last, do you think this is the best 8 players in New Zealand, current form as well, including that not past results? What do you reckon, John? I'm a player, so I won't give a biased opinion.
According to the ranking list, no, but it's all subjective. I would say that probably not 1 through 8 to be strict, but they are
definitely 8 of the best players in New Zealand, but I wouldn't say all 8 of the best players played in this. I believe most of them did. So I'd say no.
Barry Appleton, true question is to the listeners to explain what is and how. What is, do you mean a stalemate, Barry?
Oh, the stalemate in this game, you mean, is when you cannot play a legal shot on your balls. So if you're snookered behind the black or an opponent's ball and you cannot make a legal shot at any of your balls, and this has been determined by a referee, then the frame is stalemated, and I believe it's re-racked.
Barry's just testing you there, John. Guarantee he's going to reply something new.
Simon trying to hump the yellow into the rail.
Barry's just playing big bad ref on you, D. John. He's trying to
get my ref chops in.
He's trying to test you.
He's trying to give me my referee qualification online.
Barry Appleton there, one of the top New Zealand probably the top New Zealand referee. Sitting at home. What do you reckon, John? We've opted for no ref in this format. What do you think to that?
I think it's worked fine because we've hardly ever needed one. Anytime you've needed a second opinion, you've got tournament controllers, Adam and Mike, to come in and resolve any disputes, and there's a lot of respect between the players and Adam and Mike, so anything they say will be taken as being true, and you don't argue with it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, John. I think the 8 players that have been selected in particular, pretty decent guys and real good sports, and all 8 have contributed really well to playing fairly, and you see the little things during every match, just lifting up the magic rack for the opponents and stuff after a break, and
tapping the table for a good shot, and just the basics of
basic etiquette,
sportsmanship.
Yeah, and it's all been fairly good this weekend, and I think that comes with the top players.
Oh, he didn't get the red.
2 shots.
Tried to play the skill shot, so it's 2 away.
2 shots Baden. This is big because he doesn't want to fall 10-7 behind, so he's got a big visit here.
Do you reckon the reason why players have not played the skill shot much is just because of the risk involved? Because this could very well cost them the frame, trying to play the skill shot, but the rub being is if you get the shot, then you win the frame. Do they think it's just not worth it?
What is Baden doing here?
He's just trying to...
Well, he's just moved for white. He's just moved for white into the centre of the table.
Yeah, you can't do that.
He's taking it like a combo.
Yeah, he's...
Oh my God.
Oh,
Would you believe it? Would you believe it?
No, you cannot put the white anywhere, Freeman.
John.
So Baden's just had an absolute brain fade there.
Jesus Christ. He's just played that like it's a combo in the Club New Zealand
It's
rules.
not a combo. Yeah.
And he's put it in the middle of the table and played the... Oh, God.
Played it as a combo.
I feel for him because I've made plenty of mistakes myself this weekend with the rules, and oh God, it's going to cost them.
Yeah, you can't judge too harshly, can you? Because it can happen to anyone, but you still sit there and
he's allowed to sink. He's allowed to sink Simon's ball as the free ball, Terry Stewart, but with him placing the white in the middle of the table like he did, he was only allowed to place it behind the anywhere behind the line if he wants to move the white ball.
Yeah, the putting Simon's ball wasn't the issue, but it's the fact that he didn't put the white behind Bolt.
Cannot believe what I've just seen.
If he wanted the white ball in hand.
Someone of Baden's experience and quality to make a mistake like that. Wow.
Well, your real name saying, yeah, he's absolutely fair. Did you see him bang the table? No. He said Simon sat and waited for him to play the shot until he called him on it. Now, what do you reckon about that? Should Simon have told him, look?
Definitely not. Hats off to Simon. He noticed what Baden was... It's the game, John. It's the game.
Baden wouldn't have told Simon you're making a mistake had Simon been in his position.
No, definitely not. You don't call that. It's up to them to know the rules, you know. So Baden's just had a bit of a brain fart. He's made a mistake. And Simon's noticed it straight away, and you know, you don't call that. You don't call that. So
Baden's not going to say that Simon did the wrong thing there, because Baden himself wouldn't have corrected the problem.
Exactly right, Corey Reid. He has no obligation to tell Baden. Baden, you know, that was just a complete brain fart at the end of the day, and Baden will be absolutely kicking himself. He'll be like, what the hell have I just done? And when I seen him doing it, I was like, Jesus, have I missed something in the rules there, or is he just placing the white in the middle of the table?
For most of that, and then you go and nudge me and look at this, and then it clicks. Oh, he's made a mistake.
Yeah, I was like, have I missed a rule myself here? Yeah, exactly right, Camellia. A player of Baden's calibre should know he does know the rules. You know, it's a high pressure match, and he's just had a complete brain fart, and it happens to the best of us. You know, so. There's still it's a race to 15 at the end of the day, so that's only, what is it now, 10-7?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Tara's probably got the best insight into this, being Baden's wife, but
yeah, exactly.
She's saying Baden would have let him take the shot too, and I completely agree. Just the way Baden is that if you don't know the rules, if you forget the rules, tough luck. That's how you learn.
It's not the way Baden is. It's just the way all of us are. If someone doesn't know the rules and you're playing in a tournament that's $7,000 to the winner, at the end of the day you got to know the rules. And if someone puts a white ball in the middle of the table and plays it like a combo, you know, in that case, you know, you don't say anything, you know. So. Corey Reid, exactly right. Just what I've just said, you know. So, just a bit of a brain fart. Hopefully, Baden recovers from that quickly, because it's now a free frame advantage to Simon. And
well, the break's come at just the right time for Baden there, hasn't it? He can go and recollect himself after that horrible mistake he's just made, and I can go off to the bar and get myself a drink while he's doing that.
Yeah, it hasn't come at the right time, because he's just made that mistake, and now he's going to a break and pondering on a little bit. So just a quick 3-4 minute break, guys, and we'll be back into it. 10-7 Simon Singleton in the semi-final. Stay tuned. Yeah, I thought it was. I was saying to John, I was like, and then he like lined it up. Yeah. He was like, okay, no. I'm sorry, I'm fucking standing right there. He goes, he didn't hear me. Just a complete brain fart. Yeah. That's all it is. It's not even like not knowledge of the rules or anything. No. It's just a brain fart. Oh, he knows the rules. He didn't even. As soon as someone said foul, he didn't even have to tell him why. No, he knew. Someone said foul in the crowd. Well, we stood up. Well, Simon knew anyway. Simon was Simon was shaking his head behind him. Simon was behind him, looking at me like, what's he doing?
You have to click on the road NT2 down on the end. Down on road NT2. Road NT2 and
Baden 10 frames to 7.
When you first started talking, the light was off.
10-7, Simon Singleton leads Baden Jackson. I believe Baden went in off the break, so Simon gets the first choice. Yeah, see, there's a lot of debate over whether or not that should have been called as Baden, you're about to foul, you need to move the white ball, but basically we're saying is the players are there to police themselves. If Baden makes a mistake and puts the white ball in the wrong place when he's got the free shot, then Simon's got no obligation to tell him that he needs to remove it. It is Baden's responsibility to apply the rule correctly if he's going to move the white ball, which he didn't do, and Simon rightly fouled him on it. And yeah, Tari, you're definitely right. I mean, he knows the rules inside and out. He just had a brain explosion, and no doubt he would have been thinking at the break to try and, I need to refocus on what I'm doing because obviously something slipped. Yeah, Adam, kind of.
Try talking, John.
Hey, Adam, can you hear me just fine?
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you at
Oh, hell.
all. I can hear you. Okay, try again.
Right, how's this sounding?
Just having a
Adam, you're quieter than me, apparently.
No, it's John.
Oh well, there you go. Mine wasn't plugged in properly. I've just pushed it in properly. I think I'm good to go now.
Right, those in chat, can you hear both of us fine? Please let us know.
Testing. Adam Lilly, 1, 2, 3.
Don't give your email address away.
I think I'm going through alright. Yep. Cheers, DVD. Cheers, mate. Yeah, gave it my all, mate. Bit of a shame to miss that last week, but oh well.
Walk away with the cash, but you did walk away with your head held high.
Yep, gave it my all. Sunrise is tomorrow. Right, we're all good now. Dean Brown. Cheers, mate. Simon Singleton. Oh, is he overscrewed a little bit? He's got a fine cut on the red. Could come 2 rails back across for the blacks in middle. Just going to take a nice bit of queuing. Drop this one down the rail, come back across for the blacks in middle. Now, John, I was just having a conversation outside with a spectator, and they were talking about, Baden's foul, obviously, and, I honestly think we're talking about it, and I honestly think it's just the amount of rule sets that we play during the year. We play Charter Club, we play World Rules and Blackball now, obviously. Baden's obviously a snooker player as well. Just all those rules mixed into one. Do you think there will be some sort of consensus eventually where we're just playing one format of pool?
Not one, but I reckon they'll narrow it down to two.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I think Charter Club's always got to live on, though.
Yeah,
just
well,
being a
just
part of...
For the 90% of players who play
That's a
the
good
game
shot by
sort of
Simon.
socially or semi-socially. So Simon takes that frame and now leads 11-7. But yes, charter clubs will always be there because of the fact that most players play it for a Clubs New Zealand club. Now, as far as the next set of rules go, two-shot, blackball, depends on which one has the best reception. For me, I actually think it's these rules, the blackball rules, that need to be number 2 if you're going to play competitions on these tables in New Zealand.
Because
so Chartered Club and Blackball, those are my 2 sets of rules on 7-footers.
Yeah, that mistake made by Baden before is just nothing to do with pressure at all. It's just all to do with, I think, just a build-up of previous years playing all kinds of different variations of rules. And
we're huddling in again. My mic's not working properly.
Sorry, what was that? What happened there?
Here's that Simon got a ball off that break, although he's covering half the balls on the table, so I wouldn't know.
Video this morning reviewed 3,700 times, 3,000 which one?
Or maybe not. Hello, I can still count 7 of each colour. Baden first shot, so immediately Baden with a great chance to get that deficit down to 3. It's the biggest lead that either player's had in this game is 4 frames is what it is now, so Baden will start to be feeling the pressure somewhat, but does Baden even feel pressure though?
Everyone does, John. He's tried to play a little bit of a pot down to the corner and promote a couple of those yellows that were on the side rail there, and it hasn't quite worked out.
Yeah, it's just that red's been a pain, isn't it?
Yeah, you probably need to go into it a bit firmer than that.
Is the shark rack part of Blackball? Yes, it is. John, you can use any device you wish to rack the balls as long as the balls are racked correctly and in the correct spot. So you can use the shark rack, you can use the regular rack, you can use your hands if you want to. You don't actually need a device to rack the balls with, but as long as the balls are racked correctly and in the correct place, that's a brilliant... Look at that shot. Speaking about rules, and Baden's doing that, Plant must have been on and he took full advantage of it. Why did he take yellows? Because they must have looked more on at the time, and maybe he just felt that he could get that promotion early, Tara, and be able to get an easy run out on them.
Because he's better than Jackson, Tara. Because he's better than fucking Jackson.
Go on, son. Go on, Stevie D.
Go on, Stevie.
Yeah, did right, Stevie. Momentum's a massive thing. Problem is that you never really had much of it in your game against Baden, but if you were able to get some, then you can take it far. But Baden is definitely capable of turning this around. He'll be still prancing around the table thinking every shot he's got, I can make something of this, I can do something good with this.
Well, you've got to remember, John, like,
we don't. We're only on
it's not over till it's over.
What was that?
quite a long way behind Des, and you can just never give up in this game, no matter what the score is. Keep your head and to some degree, and just see what happens. Anything can happen in this game from now, no matter what the score is. Just play it frame by frame.
Is it me, or is Baden starting to get frustrated? He's starting to play shots that you wouldn't expect him to play. Like that double, I'm not sure why he played it. Because look at the way Simon's running around the table.
He must have taken his extension
on?
already. Is he taking his extension already? Is that why he's running? He's missed that.
Yeah, you could hear the beeps going off in the background, so obviously he was under some time pressure.
Baden's got a yellow into the top right corner as we see it right now. If he makes this,
then he's got the
I don't know
yellow
where that
in
yellow's,
the same pocket.
Yeah, I don't know where that yellow's going in the middle of the table though, you know.
That goes past the black for me. I reckon he can sneak that past the 8. That's what he'll be looking at now. Maybe that's one he could get onto if he can't reach the one down the rail.
It's not over till it's over.
Missed that by so much.
Yeah, he's missed that by a long way.
Dear, oh dear. Again, that time pressure, I think he's looking at the clock. He's looking at the clock because he's felt it's done him wrong, but it's been largely the same for everyone, except for Des, obviously, in that first match when he got unfairly timed out on the black.
Yeah, cheers, Brittany. Old news now, but it definitely was a good spectacle and a good promotion for this great Southern knockout. 8 of the best players in New Zealand, and I don't think me or Des at the start of the match would have liked to seen a whitewash either way. So it was nice to finish quite even, and to have the crowd on their feet, and the atmosphere that we did create towards the end of the match was just quite amazing, and something that New Zealand's never seen before, so that hopefully will be a stepping stone for future things to come for the sport, and New Zealand pool promotions and On Cue, and our Blackball game. Hopefully that's just a start of things to come.
Off the side rail, and he does manage to get position on that bottom red of the toe.
You know my game plan, John. Attack, attack, attack.
Yeah, that's what we were saying in the booth, wasn't it?
It's all I've ever
your
known.
game is attacking in nature.
I got no safety game. I won't lie.
Really simple here for Simon. Just
Simon,
make sure you plot this cleanly, and then saunter into the middle of the table for the black.
Simpleton looking good here. Follow through for the black. Yep. 12-7.
Action on the black. 3 to go. Simon Singleton to book his ticket into the final. It's 12-7 now.
Cheers for the comments, Riley James and Gary James. Miss you guys. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice of you to tune in to this great Southern knockout. Hopefully you can get into a bit of the Riley James, just for everyone watching. Young 10, 11 year old from Wellington, New Zealand, Vietnamese boy. Great young tourist, one for their future, definitely. He's going to be the best this country's seen in a long time. Keep an eye out for that name, Riley James. Grown up playing with a lot of young talented snooker players, and Riley James at the young age of 10, 11 years old, knocking in 40, 50 breaks. Pretty special. He's going to be a force to reckon with. So.
Yeah, it's quite sobering to know that an 11-year-old can knock a 50 or a 60 break, and
yeah, it's a bit depressing, eh?
Yeah, I mean, there's players who have played quite a while in Poland snooker who struggle to do that even once. Now, Simon again's got a leg up here because Baden's gone and off the break. So using his free shot to good extent. managing to clear a few of the yellows away to make the reds on. And Simon just needs to make sure that he doesn't fall into the same trap that he fell into yesterday when he was 10-1 ahead of Brent Wells and then just kind of took his foot off the gas. Brent Wells, being the champion player he is, started to make him sweat somewhat. Needs to make sure that he keeps pushing Baden's head underwater.
Yeah, cheers for comments there. Simon Singleton, Baden Jackson here. 12-7 Simon Singleton on the Reds. Looking pretty prominent to go to 13-7. He's only got one red really in the stick at the moment, which is the one bottom right as we see it on the table. He'll probably play that one last, I'd say.
He's gone too far.
Overscrewed that a little bit.
Do you need to play forward of the line after the break? I don't believe you do. Don't think you do, Dan.
Oh, DC, he knows everything. God, surely you wouldn't know that one, Dan. He knows everything. Oh, Daniel Cole, you didn't know that one?
Yeah. No, you don't have to play forward of the line, do you, after the break? If your opponent fouls and you get a free shot after the break.
Yeah, a little bit in between here, Simon.
Get a mohawk. Would Jojo allow you to do that?
No, I'm on the whip. So here, I think he might check this one up off to. Oh, that's great.
How about
shot.
checking it
Wow.
off the ball?
Yeah, I thought he was going to check 2 rails and slide back up, onto that red, but he's just cannon straight into the yellow and played it perfectly. Yeah, really classy from Simon there.
Some people, they get carried away with that shot and they screw behind the yellows, but Simon played it really well. Realised he didn't need to get straight on it, just enough so he could pot it. 13-7 now. Simon just 2 away.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah. Come down to Riccarton Racecourse and have a watch, Danny. Anyone in Christchurch at the moment watching the stream, got some spare time in your hands, come down in time for the final. Come and watch it live. Get the best of the action, all the atmosphere right here waiting for you, Riccarton Racecourse Hotel.
Yeah, the 7 o'clock is when the final is set to begin. It will be Des Wilcox versus the winner of this match. Simon Singleton definitely looking the better of the two to be joining Des in that final.
Terry Stewart is young Riley, that little man at the Cashmere Club. He was there during the Nationals, I think, having a hit around. Gary James. He's from Wellington, Terry. So
Pata Umu's not that far away from Wellington.
No, he was here at during the National Ladies. So Terry might have seen him playing on the snooker table during the National Ladies at the Cashmere Club. So he might be right there, Terry. Yeah, young Asian New Zealand boy. Very good player, one to watch.
Simon with the break and getting the ball off the break. I don't think we've seen as many dry breaks today, Adam.
Oi, Greg, give me a beer,
What do you reckon, Adam? Do you think that we've had less dry breaks today than yesterday?
I had a few. I was playing shit, so Oh, it's hard to say, John. I mean, dry breaks, yeah, come and go. All depends if you're flying or not, mate. You can be flying and potting everything, and then hit a break bad and still get one in, you know. So, for Dizzy example, you know, he was playing brilliantly, I was playing terribly, and he'd hit a break bad and still get one in, you know. That's just the difference. So, yeah, it's good curing by Simon. He hasn't landed on.
I don't think he's got a shot though.
Yeah, he's gone down around.
He might be snookered. For as well cued as that was, the yellows certainly didn't like him.
Who's the little fella and his sister from Kashmir Club December? I think you're doing. Oh, Terry. Yeah. I know who you mean now. Cooper Collier and Heidi Collier.
Sandy and
Sandy
Steve's
and
kids,
Steve's
right?
Christchurch kids. Very, very, very young kids. Heidi's 10, I think, and Cooper's 7. I'm coaching Cooper at the moment, 7-year-old boy from Christchurch, great young player. I'm coaching me and Jojo coaching the pair of them, and hopefully they become you know, avid pool players like the rest of us, and follow the tradition and get into it. Great talents. I think that's who you're referring to there, Terry.
Well, both their parents both play, don't they? Steve and Sandy both play pool, so it's good to see the kids taking the interest in it. We've seen a lot of father-son or father-daughter pairings, or even both parents and all the kids playing like you do with the Pinelli clan. It's great to watch because it promotes a good family atmosphere, even if sometimes the game can be a little rough and tumble in some parts. Yeah, you're starting to give Baden some real shift now, aren't you, Tara? I know you'd be doing that in person.
Tara's wishing she was on the table, I bet, right now.
So you could whip him with your cue.
Yeah, no, he's alright.
Double to finish. Hello, old rules.
It's a thick double. There is a double kiss on. No, he's called it thin. So yeah, I was just saying there, John. It was a thick double. So the black was sitting just off the rail, and the white was just in a position where it was quite thick. So.
Good chance that he was going to double kiss it, right?
Yeah, it was a good chance for double kiss or hitting it thin, which he did. So Baden's got to. He needs to take this chance right now. He needs to, and then he needs to make a couple more after that. You know, to get back into this match. He just needs to. He's better than anyone. You see that line on his forehead.
So you knew he was going to get a snooker there if he missed it. So that's the genius in that shot. To gain the usage of the rules and the fact that you don't have to go 100% at it, if you can just play it like that and make sure of the snooker if you miss the shot.
Yeah, Terry Stewart, Cooper, you said, Cooper, you got the one. 4 and 5, like we do some drills. I like to do a few drills, test if I'm curing straight. Like to do the old close the eyes and pop the straight balls, length of the table, and it looks really good, you know, when you pull them off. I do those with him quite a bit, and I mean, like when you're watching a 7-year-old pop balls with his eyes closed, length of the table like 10 times in a row, it's pretty special. You know you got a bit of talent there, so I'm going to keep a hold of him definitely and try and guide him the right way.
That's got to be otherworldly as an opponent, watching a 7-year-old just potting balls with his eyes closed. He's like, okay, which two demons spawned this?
Yeah, he's
yeah, lovely cueing. He's still got the cue power, Baden, even though the shoulders might be starting to sag a little. And that's worked out all right. Still believe he's got enough angle here.
Did right there, Terry. That's the future of our game, and it's a good future. That's what it's all about. it's all good. Myself and Dizzy and Healy White and all them coming through, but you need those other younger ones coming through at the same time. You can't be too selfish. You want to see an advance in our game, and we've definitely got the quality in New Zealand to compete at a world level. So it's just all banding together and working as one to make that happen.
Here we go for Baden. Maybe the comeback's still on.
13-8.
13-8. Don't turn your eyes away.
It might not seem like much there, John, but just the way that Baden finished off those few shots, you could see that meant a little bit to him. And it's the same as me and Dez's match. I remember a couple of those little frames when I was trailing by a few. Can get you back into it.
Come on now. Try to read that comment that you made, Tara, in a Derby accent, and I can't quite do it. Right, 13 frames to 8 now. Simon Singleton, Baden Jackson. Baden with the last frame, and good little endorsement there for Pool for Schools from Barry Appleton. Great incentive that, isn't it? Get some kids playing pool, get them interested in a cue sport, get them out of trouble, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think what Barry says is right. Pool for Schools is obviously an amazing thing that we've got in place in New Zealand here. It especially helps when family members are also involved in the game. So obviously young Heidi and Cooper, you've got a few up north that have family members, that have played the game before, and their nephews, nieces, daughters and sons are coming through. It helps a lot as well.
Hazel Cook and Matt McInnes's son.
I don't know if he went through the
he's a pretty mean player as well.
Yep.
Saw him at the Nationals last year in Munudewa.
Yeah, young Cooper.
Yeah, he's Cooper as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Saying about these Coopers, there's going to be I reckon an all-Cooper national final one year. I'm calling it right now, probably 20 years in the making. You remember this one. Cooper versus Cooper, national final.
Simon's managed to squeeze that past everything and just flick off the yellow for the pot in the middle. I don't think he's that happy with his position though, even though he's got two obvious balls on.
Over 500.
That's just the fact that he didn't move the yellow away far enough.
Over 500 participants last year in the Pool for Schools, which is great.
He needs to be careful he doesn't re-tie that red up. It's the way he's just shadow cueing the yellow, that's where he wants it to go after the red hits it.
He doesn't want to catch the rail on this red, he wants to hit the yellow just off. Yeah, that's well played.
Don't go off though.
God, that white spreads, Jesus.
Is that stuck on the jaw?
Yeah, I think he's
stuck on the jaw. I don't think he'll be able to pot the one in the middle.
No, I think he can. I think he's jawed on the other red though, so he can pot the one to the middle, I think. It's just a question of positional play. He's going to have to drop this in dead weight if he wants to get on the other red. This is going to be one hell of a shot. Nah, he's taking
a bit of luck.
Yeah.
Nah, he's gotten absolutely nothing.
No, he's hoping for a bit of a rub there, so...
You almost hit that.
Who won the last frame?
That you...
Baden won the last frame, didn't he?
Yeah.
If he can win this frame, John, seriously, this match is very... Even though the score says 13-9, with Baden win the last two, the type of guy that Baden is, he'll take that massively, and he'll get a roll on.
Well, prime example sitting right next to me of winning one frame out of however many that you need to win, but having it mean so much. I mean, 14-5 down from there, you managed to steadily climb your way into contention.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
Any chance of a snooker, or this is just going to be...
No, he's going to be playing for the corner here. It's just a matter of what yellow he goes for next, whether it's the yellow just under the black to the same corner.
See Jordan Maihe's in the house as well.
Yeah, he's just walked into the arena. Oh no, he's played it. Yeah, that's unusual there for Bade. I thought he would have maybe gone for a pop there.
Yeah, he's almost shied away from that, isn't he? I think the ball's on in the corner pocket, the red, so if Simon pots this with good power, he can still finish this frame.
What time is the final scheduled for, John?
7 p.m. approximately.
7 p.m. scheduled at this rate, yeah. We should be looking on time.
It's 5:15, give or take.
Yeah, they wanted to give them an hour and a half between this and the final.
No, he's missed that. So Baden with another chance here. He needs to make this. Bade does. So he's going to take the yellow to the bottom left corner. The other yellow goes into the left middle.
Does he just creep past? I think he's okay. Wanting to see if the one on the rail is actually on the rail or not, because that affects where he needs to hit it.
I thought he would have just played for the other yellow to the middle there, keep it.
I see what he's done. Good shot.
Yeah, he's buying his time. I suppose he can afford to.
Buying himself an extra shot.
Just playing the rules.
That's what he does so well, isn't it? Oh, that's skill. Right around the back of the red and touch it for a snooker.
Yeah, it's almost, yeah. Oh, yeah. So these numbers on here are quite, what, after the frame? Yeah.
It's got to be the worst feeling when you've just put him in a really good snooker and he just locks you straight up like that. It's got to be a little bit demoralising. Baden's got the opportunity, if he can see anything, just to be able to put Simon back in jail here. And he's gone and off.
Betty.
He's trying to put the white ball, I believe, behind the other yellow, but made a horrible mess of it. You see him there just waving his cue angrily at the ball. But that was the shot to play, he just didn't play it very well. So Simon just making that red more available. He could play it now if he wants to, actually. The one closer to the white looks like the better shot, but the second red would have given him a shot at the ball closer to the black, but no, he is going to follow the script. No, you're right, Tara, and sometimes it just doesn't. And the harder you try, the worse it gets, and the more it doesn't happen for you. Sometimes that's when you've got to stop actually trying so hard and just kind of let it flow.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to almost give up and just play like nothing matters. And if Simon gets on the hill here, then Baden's going to have to do that, which it looks like Simon's going to do. And Baden's going to be in the exact same position as what I was in, pretty much. So he's just going to have to try and forget everything.
Drills the black. 14-8. Simon Singleton, the first player on the hill here in the second semi-final.
Is that music playing?
Yeah, whichever one Simon's is. I don't know which one Simon's is.
Was it just playing? Was it just playing?
Right.
I think
But they're speaking, so don't play anything. You can play a little bit now until he goes to.
an
Right.
E. See Mel having a wee boogie in the background. Simon's lovely partner, if you didn't know. There's Claire Shanaher in the crowd as well, just off to the right. Great use of the music there, Adam. I love it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. DJ Lily.
Thank you very much.
DJ Lily.
DJ Lightning Lily.
Simon Singleton, true break, 14-8, frame 23. Makes the yellow into the middle, second ball down in the pack again, into that left middle. He's got that break pretty much sorted out now. You watch this yellow, second ball down, into the middle.
See, that's why a lot of players break from the side. There was a question on breaking from the side versus breaking from in front. Now, Simon's perfected that break from the side so that the apex ball, more likely than not, will go in the middle pocket, and that's the same way with, I believe, 9-ball. It's a 9-ball style break.
It's a clever shot as well by Simon. He's played the combination there. He's been a little bit unlucky because the ball down past the middle pocket has landed on the other red. He's going to have to develop that one later on in this clearance. He's going to be attacking definitely right now, 14-8 up.
Well, you still wouldn't want to do anything silly knowing how good of a player Baden is, especially the ability to punish that he has. Now, I wonder if he may even have a shot at it here, just to screw back off this yellow if he has any angle and perhaps nudge the red or the yellow to make the yellow on, or whether he even needs to do it. That yellow might be on if he pots the one closer to the pocket anyway. Well, it's definitely on now.
Yeah, it's on down to the corner.
Could play it in the corner now if he wants to,
Yeah,
or
could play it now
just
and
shelve
hold.
it for later.
If he makes it, I'll tell you what, if he plays that yellow now, it's a match-winning ball. If he pots this now,
Well, that's
'cause
the
he'll hold
hard
off the
one
other
gone,
red.
isn't it? That's
I
your
think
potential
he might play,
headache
he
gone.
might play it last. He might just try and screw across into the other red here, which he has done.
Yeah.
And is he a little low? If he may be able to just drop this in.
I think if he's straighter on this, it's bad because the red gets in the way. I think more of the cut allows him to come off the rail, perhaps,
Yeah,
if he wants to get the yellow out.
I don't think he can drop it in, so he might just play a little bit of a bottom left-hand side and just skid up maybe for the same corner, or just try and play a bump. He's played the bump.
Got the bump. That's not great, but okay.
If he has this to the corner, John, it's just a straight stun across for the Blake to the bottom right corner.
Well, we can
He may
find
be
out,
looking-
don't we?
He may be looking good here. If he can just pop this to the top left-hand corner as we see it on the screen, he'll just stun across to the left-hand side of the table, and he's got the Blake to the bottom right-hand corner.
What does he play if it's not on in the corner? It looks like he is playing it for the corner, though. This could be it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we need the white to stop. It does. There's that shot again. It was risky running into the red, but he played it at perfect pace, and this to win the match. Win the match he does!
There you go.
15 frames to 8, Simon Singleton over Baden Jackson. So we now have our two finalists. They will be Simon Singleton and Des Wilcox. So please join us at about 7 o'clock for the final.
Yeah, congratulations, Simon Singleton and Baden Jackson also. Two very worthy semi-finalists there. Stay tuned for the final between Simon Singleton and Des Wilcox. South Island versus the North Island.
mate against mate.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys. It's going to be epic. Cheers.
Thank you for that, Adam. Awesome job as always, and also stay tuned for the money shot, which is $1,000.
Another great match. It's just been a couple of days of awesome matches, superb play. Comes down to a few little errors here and there. Commiserations. Commiserations, Baden. Thanks for coming all the way down for this tournament. Congratulations, Simon. Consistent as always. Put your hands together for the effort that these guys put in. And I'll hand over to Alex.
Great game, lads. Baden, firstly, coming to you, it was nip and tuck for first sort of hour and a half, just trading frames, and then all of a sudden Simon found another gear and won 6 in a row. I mean, how did the match go from your perspective?
Are you allowed to swear? Yeah, 7-6 to be honest. Early chances in the match. I think both giving each other too much respect. Balls going. I think first 13 frames. Yeah, score could have been 7-6 either way. I struggled. I got in a bit of a rut mentally and couldn't get out of it. The harder I tried, the harder it was. Dry breaking. The break was terrible today. Simon was better. Then he took his chances and he deserved to win. It's been a great tournament, really enjoyed it, definitely come again. I don't care where you stage it, I've met the travel, it's been brilliant, hospitality has been brilliant, and yeah, really good. Just disappointed, someone's going to lose.
And Simon, congratulations. Like I mentioned, pretty close to the first hour or so, and then you just found another gear basically, and just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of good pull, a lot of silly misses as well, especially early on. I felt like we were punishing each other. There was a lot of second visit clearances, but not really like first visit, you know. And then I just felt like if I could just run a couple of racks, I could get in front and kick on from there. But the big turning point was that foul to go 9-8 when Red had ball in hand, and I felt real bad, and I apologised afterwards for not calling it, but it's not my job to tell him the rules, and it's a big, you know, we're playing for $3,000, so yeah, he just had a brain fade, and then from there I knew, knowing Baden well, that could affect him if I punished him like the frame after, and it just sort of went from there, and that's when I went clear. So I mean, he only won one frame after that mistake. So yeah, it's a shame that happened, but that's cool, and you know, yeah, I'm happy.
Looks like the break foot's pretty much nailed down. I think you were making the ball into that middle pocket 75-80% of the time.
Yeah, that's what I worked on for the Super League. Obviously, we've changed the rules, but the break's the same. I wasn't sure if it was going to work on this cloth, but yeah, you know, because I can't practice it, but I know where the sweet spot is, and just as long as I get the tempo right, the yellow will go in the middle every single time. So yeah, I know where that is, and hopefully I can continue for the final.
And opponent Des Wilcox is going to be a repeat of the 2013 North Island Championships, where Des was victorious, but obviously it was much shorter race.
God, that's so long ago. That was like my first major final, playing in the North Island. It's the only time I've been, because Phil and Matt said I weren't allowed to go again because I live in the south. I've never been back, but yeah, that was a really good final. I was so nervous, and Des played brilliant. I mean, he would have only been, I don't know, a kid back then, you know, 18, I don't know how old he was. But,
he's a man now!
Yeah, he's a man now. And he's playing fantastic. It's going to be a great game, I think. I need to play a little bit better. I need to just make sure. There's a couple of just stupid misses where I don't know, I sort of did the hard work and felt like I'd won the frame and then missed an easy ball, and I can't do that against well, I can't do it against Baden, but I definitely can't do it in final, so looking to step it up again.
And $3,000 in the bag, but just imagine how much cat food you could buy with $7,000, son.
Actually, it's 50-50 whether I want to win this, because we've got 8 cats, and apparently the deal is every time I win a tournament she gets a new one, so I'm happy to take the $3,000 and run, to be honest.
Alright, thanks very much guys, we'll just have another round of applause for Baden Jackson and Simon Singleton.